is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The government exploring options for voters in quarantine, but no final decision has been made as yet. The government trying to build hospital bed capacity, and the PLP threatening legal action over a distorted party symbol. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, September 8th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning in Morning Blend Business, we are talking about the economy, the state of business in the country, and which plan, from what you've seen so far, is seemingly heading in the right direction, and what you would want to see from political parties or hear from political parties about the way forward after the election for the economy. That's coming up. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, with the advanced poll set for this week, Health Minister Emmett Wells says that the government is exploring ways to allow individuals in quarantine to vote. However, he emphasized that no final decision has been made as yet, and health officials have strongly recommended that those people not be permitted to cast their ballots. Wells telling reporters that the government is looking at all of this, and, quote, "We understand the issues of the constitutionality and folks wanting to exercise their rights, and so a decision is going to be had on the recommendation because the health professionals did send forward options." Well, saying it's still under discussion, but that health officials are recommending to the government that those who are in quarantine not be allowed to vote. On Monday, the PLP threatened legal action should quarantined individuals be prevented from voting in the general election. Last week, National Security Minister Marvin Dames, who has responsibility for elections, strongly suggested that people in quarantine would not be permitted to vote. Asked to respond to the PLP's threat yesterday, Dames says that he wasn't going to get into any political posturing, but he insisted that all registered voters will be able to vote come Election Day. He later said that the ultimate decision, though, will depend on the recommendation of health officials. With 191 people hospitalized with COVID-19 in the country as of Monday, Health Minister Wells says work is being done to secure more beds. He's acknowledging that it is a challenge, and they've put up tents donated by the United States government that can be quickly augmented to be able to assist, he says. Wells says engineers are determining how they can get negative air pressure into the tents in the event that there is another surge. More on COVID and the numbers. There have been 162 COVID-19 deaths confirmed since August 1st. The Ministry of Health reporting this yesterday. That's almost as many as the 171 deaths reported during March 2020 and December 2020. In total, 453 COVID deaths have been confirmed since the start of the pandemic. Doctors Hospital CEO Dr. Charles, it's not a good idea to hold mass gatherings as COVID-19 hospitalizations reach record levels. In recent days, there have been drive-in political rallies in which F&M supporters have left their vehicles and congregated, and PLP motorcades with people crowded on the back of trucks. When asked if these recent political events could be super-spreader events, Diggis saying, quote, "It's difficult to disconnect the possibility of super-spreader from any socialization event like that. It's very difficult to disconnect that." More on the advance poll now. Prime Minister Minnis, in his capacity as Commonwealth Authority, modified the Parliamentary Elections Act to reschedule the advance poll for Bahamians living in Barbados. The advance poll will take place on Thursday for all other jurisdictions, but it's going to be Friday there. An amendment to the Emergency Powers Management and Recovery Special Provisions Amendment Order, stating that for the purpose of the advance poll, it's going to be held in Barbados on the 9th of September for people voting overseas as voters. And the PLP intending to go to the Supreme Court and seek relief if it does not hear from the acting Parliamentary Commissioner Lovato Duncanson today with a favorable response to its request to inspect ballots to ensure the PLP hand symbol is properly represented. Valentine Grimes, one of the PLP's election coordinators, has written to Duncanson over the party's concern with how its symbol is appearing. Grimes saying it's come to their attention that the symbol being published as part of that of the PLP appears to be distorted and faded. Overseas, a powerful earthquake striking near the Pacific resort city of Acapulco, killing at least one person and causing buildings to rock and sway in Mexico City, hundreds of kilometers away. This happened Tuesday night. The U.S. Geological Survey said the quake had a preliminary magnitude of 7 and was centered 17 kilometers, or about 10 miles, northeast of Acapulco. Officials telling local media that one person had been killed by a falling post in one town near Acapulco. Officials also saying, the mayor of Acapulco said in a statement that there was no serious situation before the first death was reported, though. And the president of the country saying via Twitter that authorities in the 4 states that most felt the earthquake told him there were no victims or serious damage beyond some collapsed walls and falling rocks. In sports, looking to keep the water polo program alive and growing in the Bahamas, the Mantas Water Polo Club taking an under 2012 mixed team to the Northside ISD Swim Center in San Antonio, Texas, competing in the Texas Shootout 2021 water polo competition. This was over the weekend. The team placed 7th overall, with a total of 8 teams in their division. In total, there were 48 teams that competed in the 2-day tournament in 6 age groups. In addition to the under-12 team, there were 2 other Bahamian water polo players who were in action competing in the under-14 and under-16 divisions for other teams. You can read more about this in today's Guardian Sports section. Or from the NFL Players Association wants daily COVID-19 testing for fully vaccinated players. The league and the union agreeing last week to update protocols so vaccinated players would be tested weekly instead of every 14 days as they were during training camp. That's not enough, according to the NFLPA, the Players Association, and its president and Cleveland Browns center, J.C. Tretter. He says that since the beginning of training camp, they've been testing vaccinated players every 14 days. It has been ineffective. He says, quote, "We've had significantly more incidents of transmission inside the building this year than last year." The league most recently announced 93% of players are vaccinated. Unvaccinated players are tested daily and face strict protocol requirements. The league didn't immediately respond to a request for a response to Tretter's comments. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got streaming tropical moisture with troughing that will continue to support pockets of unsettled weather across portions of the northwest and central Bahamas. Elsewhere, a weak pressure pattern will maintain light to gentle winds over the islands. Boaters and residents being urged to remain alert for possible waterspout and tornado activity. Beachgoers also urged to exercise caution due to rip currents at East Coast beaches. And residents in low-lying and flood-prone areas should take special precautions against possible localized flooding during heavy and prolonged rainfall events today. The general public still being advised to limit outdoor activities and remain hydrated due to triple-digit heat indices. For today, your forecast for the northwest and central Bahamas: variable cloudiness, hot and humid conditions, widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Some showers may be heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Small craft advisories in effect due to swells. Small craft operators should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Wind southeast to south at 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times. Seas 3 feet or less, but up to 8 feet in easterly swells along Atlantic exposures. For the southeast Bahamas, partly mostly sunny and hot, mostly fair and warm tonight. Small craft caution is in effect due to swells. Winds east to southeast to 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times. Seas 3 feet or less, but up to 7 feet in easterly swells along Atlantic exposures. Temperature-wise today, look for highs getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. The heat index, as we said, in the triple digits again, near 105 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and a look at the tropics coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day.
It is time for a break. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
It started off the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
The FNM is working to build a better future for us all, investing in our youth, delivering tax relief to families and businesses, investing in workforce development, and offering training and assistance to new business owners and entrepreneurs. The FNM is working to build a prosperous post-pandemic economy. On September 16th, we have the opportunity to vote for a brighter future. Vote FNM because it's about your future.
This has been a paid political announcement from the Free National Movement.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969 and text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Coming up this morning, we've got more weather and throughout the morning we'll be talking about what's in the news. A lot to talk about: COVID, the election, how things are going, what you're seeing, what you're thinking. And later in Morning Blend Business, we're going to extend that in there and what you're hearing from the various parties, and so many of them, about the future with the economy and the business environment in the country. From what you're seeing, what is the plan that's sounding best to you, or what would you want to hear that you're not hearing from anybody about the way forward for the economy of this country? So we're going to talk about all that this morning. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Chester Robards will be joining us in just a bit. And let's begin with what's in the news. And in the news, the big headline, the government exploring options for voters in quarantine. Cabinet ministers we spoke to yesterday saying no final decision has been made on this as yet. We're going to get to that in just a bit. But while this is happening, just how serious a crisis this is that we are in is becoming clearer minutely, it seems. And we are passing records every day in terms of hospitalizations, in terms of deaths, and the numbers are outstanding, unbelievable. It's crazy, and it doesn't seem like it's easing up right now at all. And many are expecting in a few weeks as a result of some events that have taken place over the past few days. What is happening here? What is going on? We've got a number of stories here we're going to go through. We want to take a listen to this report, and before we get into what some of the other articles are saying in the papers today about all of this. First up, we've got our Jillian Gray as health officials confirm new milestones, grim new milestones, nearly 200 cases of hospitalizations, increasing the burden on public and private healthcare facilities. Officials say more people are getting severely ill as well, severe illness from COVID, and dying. Again, here's Jillian Gray.
The numbers of COVID patients continue to increase. The severity is also unrelenting. Unfortunately, more and more patients are not surviving.
It's a grim reality coming from Doctors Hospital CEO Dr. Charles. COVID patients are becoming severely ill with their condition escalating quickly.
The ventilator situation gets better, unfortunately, because as patients lose their battle with COVID, ventilated patients, then obviously ventilators become available. Proportionately, more patients are severe, and by extension, proportionately more patients are requiring ventilation, and by extension, more patients, unfortunately, are dying compared to previous waves or surges.
Another 7 deaths were recorded on New Providence. A man died on August 29th, 4 people died on September 2nd, and 2 women died September 3rd. The deceased range in age from 45 to 66 years old. Hospitalizations are also up to a record 191 COVID patients. Over on Grand Bahama, 21 COVID cases are hospitalized.
We're noticing the trend where it's going up significantly, leveling, going right back up, and these seems to coincide with events that are happening in the community. So what it means that some of our residents are engaging in risky behaviors with respect to COVID-19.
Dr. Diggis agrees that gatherings during this third wave is risky behavior and said within 2 weeks we will see whether the recent political gatherings have made a bad situation worse.
Difficult to disconnect the possibility of super spreader from any socialization event like that. It's very difficult to disconnect that. Seems like it's tempting fate. We will know in about 10 or 14 days exactly what the behavior of the virus has been and whether it has used opportunities like these to create another surge in disease.
As for Williams, she says they do have enough equipment to treat patients, but that could quickly change if people continue to ignore safety protocols.
We see a trend in mortality with this phase of the COVID pandemic, and we want our citizens, our residents, to be extremely careful and avoid getting COVID at all costs, whether that means your choice of simply adhering to the protocol or the safer choice of obtaining vaccination.
For the Guardian News Network, I'm Jillian Gray.
Somber, sobering words there. And there's more in the papers today about this, as we said. There's been now, according to the Ministry of Health, 162 COVID-19 deaths confirmed since August 1st. That's almost as many as the 171 deaths reported between March 2020 and December 2020. Yeah? Wrap your minds around that. In total, 453 COVID the pandemic. Another 101 people died with COVID, but COVID was not the cause of death. 19 deaths remain under investigation as of Monday. Additionally, 191 people were in hospital with COVID. Of the 7 deaths included in the report for Monday, there were 4 men and 3 women, all from New Providence. 1 death occurred on August 29th, 4 on September 2nd, and 2 on September 3rd. The victims ranged in age from 45 to 67. Former Minister of Health, Dr. Dwight saying yesterday, quote, "I think we are in a horrible spiral. The consequences are tremendous." He said, quote, "I operated on 5 COVID patients today and 6 in the last 24 hours. Every single patient in the emergency room at Doctors Hospital today is a COVID patient. Every single one. It is heartbreaking to watch. It is numbing to watch people around you knowing that some of them are not going to survive. You can only imagine that in India at some point, I don't think we know how bad it is going to get. Sen says he's trying his best to help people. He said, quote, "We try to separate the COVID patients from the non-COVID patients, and that for all intents and purposes is now impossible in some situations. All you can do is continue to fight, to continue to try and help people that find themselves gasping for breath or otherwise ill. This is a relentless wave." Boy, hi. So, as you, in this article, our Travis Cartwright Carroll writes more about it, saying, we know this. Prime Minister Minnis has announced this election for September 16th next week, 8 days away, in the midst of the worst part of the pandemic for this country. Since then, the F&M has had drive-in rallies and motorcades. The PLP has forgone rallies, but it had a massive motorcade on Saturday. Was it just one? Okay. Sands has also been campaigning, as he is the F&M's candidate, about his role as a physician and a politician seeking re-election. He said, quote, "It is somewhat surreal. Pragmatism demands that you are almost schizophrenic. I mean, you have to literally change modes. It is equally important for me to spend time in the hospital, as I do now, as it is to be in the street in order to have a seat at the table to influence the policy that might change this. The decision-making ultimately determines how we face these problems. As you drive from one role to the next, you transition. I got done campaigning last night and left Elizabeth at 8:30 p.m. and went to Doctor's Hospital to operate on a patient with COVID. Today I went in the hospital, operated on 5 patients. I then took a shower and went into the constituency. That is the reality." He says he's worried about the campaigning he's seeing, adding that many Bahamians seem to be caught up in the euphoria of election season. He was asked if he made any recommendations to the FM to scale back its campaigning, but he had no comment. Well, the current Minister of Health, Reverend Wells, says the government is trying to build hospital bed capacity. He says, quote, "We are challenged, but we are looking at a quick and rapid way to deploy beds if needed. We have some tents that were donated to us by the United States government that can be very quickly augmented to be able to assist, whether it's hurricane, natural disasters, emergencies, or in pandemics, where we can outfit them very quickly to be medical facilities." Wells says engineers are determining how they can get negative air pressure in the tents in the event that they have another surge or circumstances where they end up with more cases of COVID. All right, let's get your reaction to all of this, folks. What's happening here? The campaigning's not letting up. The only thing that caused the F&M rally last night to be canceled was the threat of inclement weather. Otherwise, it likely would have gone on as scheduled. But that is it. That's the only thing deterring anything. And the people, some are in a frenzied state. It's like a spell has come over them, and they just are. Well, COVID has to wait till the 17th. It seems. What do you make of it? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Standard again, text rates apply. All right, let's go to the text line here. Somebody says, we just read from Dr. Sands. Asking about Dr. Sands' opinion on all of this. This person says, I guess in response to my question earlier about what is going on, well, Dr. Minnis has decided that some people have to die to see. Interesting to hear Reverend Wells speak emphatically about the advice from medical professionals to not let quarantined people vote. Can someone ask Mr. Wells what the medical professionals advised about calling an election and holding drive-in rallies during this fourth wave? Well, you know the answer to that. You know it. Obviously, they are not letting that guide them. They want to say, can someone please tell Dr. Minnis and Reverend Wells that 150 people have died? They don't seem to be aware. Dr. Minnis is a doctor, you know. That's a text. All right. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Yes, good morning, Blend. It seems as though we have given up, eh?
Well, I don't know. Who's the we?
Those who are oblivious to the fact that there's something that you can't see that's about to get you, and you believe that because it's so small, it can't get you. Something that's chemically made, an agent that's formed. And we can't see it, so it ain't going to hurt us. And then we got leaders who are leading us down a path of oblivion because they want to win the election at all costs, regardless of how many people die. Mm-hmm. This is what we're dealing with. But just remember, I keep telling you, Earth is the seed for another mortality. Jupiter has opposition. Be careful.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. All right. This text here. We have 2 women leading political parties, and they can't get any support from the fake feminist groups in the country. Now, okay. Let me stop right there before I continue reading the rest of your text. I don't know if you understand anything about anything, actually, but just because you're a woman doesn't mean that the feminists will support you. What? Why would they? Huh? Anyway, okay. You also need to look at what those people who you're talking about, what they stand for, and does it jive with what the feminists? Let's continue with your text. The feminist groups in the country who always are talking about how we need more women in leadership, and why isn't the Commissioner of Police making arrests of these political parties breaking the law? Okay. The last part, I don't know. And what you mean the just violating the protocols for this pandemic? Well, Well, why indeed? All right. So continue to text us, call in, Facebook us. Let's get to this issue with quarantine. We know this got heated yesterday when we were talking about this. The government says they're exploring options for voters in quarantine, but a final decision hasn't been made as yet. The advance poll is tomorrow, and we are a week away from the election, a week from tomorrow as well. But no decisions have been made as yet. But they're exploring options. For more on this, from Jasmine Brown.
Well, it's still under discussion, but I can say that the health professionals in the Ministry of Health, the ones who basically make recommendations, are recommending to the government that these persons not be allowed to vote.
The health minister addressed the matter outside cabinet, telling reporters the government is looking at ways to accommodate quarantined and COVID-positive voters. He added that an announcement on the matter will be made soon.
But if we do allow them to vote, give us an idea as to how best this can take place. The law, interestingly enough, the Parliamentary Act, I believe, allows for the creation of a space or a place for those infirmed, something along those lines, if I remember correctly. So we are looking at ways to see how it is possible.
If the government takes that advice, such a decision could impact up to 6,400 people, says Wells. On Monday, the Progressive Liberal Party threatened legal action if quarantined individuals are prevented from voting in the general election. National Security Minister Marvin Dames says he's not worried.
I'm not going to get a little posturing today, so I'm not going to get into the back and forth with the Progressive Liberal Party. They've been saying a lot of things that's not making much sense to me.
Deliberations on whether such voters will be accommodated on Election Day comes as the Bahamas continues to see a surge in COVID cases, hospitalizations, and deaths. Just over 19,000 COVID cases have been confirmed in the Bahamas since March 2020. It is unclear how many COVID-positive individuals are registered to vote.
Currently in the country, we have about some 3,408 active cases of COVID. That means those are folks who are still positive. They're not hospitalized, but they're positive with COVID. 3,408. We have in quarantine approximately somewhere around 3,000 or so. I still need to get the defined number. In addition to the positive cases. And so, but the government is looking at this. We understand the issues of the constitutionality of folks wanting to exercise their rights. And so a discussion is going to be had.
Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Okay, so let's get those numbers again. As of Monday, 3,396 active COVID cases and 396. And around 3,000 contacts of COVID-positive individuals are also in quarantine. Okay, so we've got Chester Robards with us now. Good morning, Chester. Great to have you with us.
Good morning. Good to be here.
All right, so this is a heated topic. A lot of people are very concerned about this. At least possibly some 6,000 people might be challenged or find it challenging to vote if this matter isn't resolved. Let's hear what you have to say about it, folks. Call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Wells says the health professionals are saying these people should not be allowed to vote. Not be allowed. He spelled it out, N-O-T, be allowed to vote. Dames was hinting at that last week, although it seems what he said yesterday might be a bit of a walk back from that. Exploring the options. They don't have much time, but they're exploring the options. What should happen here, folks? I see somebody else is asking. They were asking, what does Dwayne Sand say about this? How does he feel about it? About the safety of all of this? Well, I mean, is it any less safe than you being in the supermarket with people? Probably much closer than 6 feet. While you are touching the same products that they were touching.
But those people we know should stay home, should be home, because the suggestion is that they have COVID-19.
Yeah, should have, would have done a lot of things. People shouldn't be piled up in the back of a truck and not wearing a mask in the middle of a pandemic that is spread because of proximity and how close you are and talking and coughing and stuff. But yeah, a lot of things shouldn't happen, and it's happening. So what should we do? And will we know who shouldn't be out there? Will be people that we don't know, whether they are COVID positive or not. What do you do in a situation like that? Let's see.
You don't know.
You don't know. Let's see if the caller has any answers here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning to you, Dwight, and good morning to Chester, Seattle, and Johnson. A number of points. I reserve the right to call back on the economy. First of all, I think the cabinet of the Bahamas somehow, because we have remained silent, believe that the emergency powers trumps the Constitution. The emergency powers, in its proper context, was meant to not negate, but to put confinement or rules for how to deal with a emergency such as the pandemic. We already have conflated and convoluted the fact of quarantine and isolation. Quarantine is reserved specifically for individuals that have been verified to have some sickness. Isolation is for those who have been exposed to be observed to see if they come down with or be released from it. But we've been using it as one giant thing. Now, if you look at the constitutional aspect of this, you will realize that the Prime Minister of the Bahamas have been quarantined in the entire country, which, again, violates the Constitution, which brings us to now. The Constitution is not an arbitrary document for which you decide which you will follow and which you will not. The Constitution has not been replaced. You can't negate the Constitution. However, you can put certain limits, not like eliminate, but put limits or confines on how to vote. The Minister of Health has already made statements concerning natural immunity. The Minister of Health is saying that about individuals, the doctors who's advising him. I am going to say there is no medical advisory team in the capacity to which the ministers speak in context. And if there is, like for months myself and others have been calling for, I would ask him to publish the name of the medical advisory team to the doctor so we could see who would sign off on such foolishness as to call an election for 190,000 individuals to show up who we cannot verify, who carries COVID or have been exposed, including those who have been vaccinated. and then would then say, 6,000 individuals who we cannot create an environment for them to vote, which will be spread out across the entire archipelago, as opposed to 194,000 people, or here in Grand Bahama, almost 30,000 people. So the argument concerning that we cannot accommodate those individuals that have actually tested positive, or those individuals who have been exposed but have not tested positive, we can give them a test the day before they go, and we will know where they are and taking the normal protection, considering that, again, we will have probably hundreds, if not thousands, of individuals using the Minister of Health numbers concerning the thousands of individuals who may have this protection. He said it in June, which we supposed to have met the goal by August, and then he repeated it again now. So I'm not surprised, right, by an individual who have a group of people who have killed the economy would care about killing everybody else in their actions.
Okay, well, it's a bit extreme there, but we do get most of your point there. Okay, thank you very much, Alan. Yeah, call us back later for that part of the show. What do you make of that? And continue to give us your views. We've got this call here. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Yes, sir. Good morning to all.
Hi, good morning.
All right. We are in a state of an emergency. So let's call it this thing we got here, this emergency power. That comes from the state of emergency. You know, we still are in a state of emergency. We cannot. The rights of the minority, of a few, cannot trump the safety of the vast majority. You see, so it is what it is. These people who are quarantined or who are infected, these people are not predominantly PLP or FNM, or you see, and you know, I am a democratic socialist. You know, like the European nations are, like Canada is, and like the Democratic Party partially are. I am a democratic socialist, and our politicians here refuse to be democratic socialists. You see, and they're afraid of the word socialist. Every time you say socialist, they say communist. You are communist. You see, and it's time that our poor people realize this, and it's time that the poor people segregate themselves. It's time that the poor people segregate themselves from the capitalists. See, capitalism is not democratic. It's not, because when you, in the system, the capitalist system that we live in today is not democratic, because the politicians, they legislate on behalf of the few, not the many. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right. We'll get to that call in a second. This person says, Dwight, you're in the media, and probably more importantly, you would know, I guess they're trying to say, are there any international observers confirmed to be able to cover both election days? It's been hard to confirm that, but I do know a little bit. I've been informed by some of my contacts that the Commonwealth has an observation team here, or at least going to be here on the ground, right? So that's happening. Now, about anybody else, CARICOM or the OAS, that's not clear. It's not clear, but the Commonwealth does. So, yeah. Okay. Let's go back to the calls. We'll get back to your text messages in just a bit. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight and Chester.
Hi.
Chester.
Good morning.
Yeah, Dwight and Chester. Make it make sense, man. We're in a pandemic, right? Now, we all in this Bahamas know that when it comes to policing anything in this Bahamas, our governments have no track record of success, right? Now, when pertaining to this people are in quarantine, right? What I keep reading from all of this situation with this government is they are going out of their way to try to limit as much people as possible in the hopes that at the end of the 16th of this month, they would be in the best position possible for re-election. Why I said that, right? Because the food store, you don't know who have COVID or who in quarantine in the food store. We see all of these motorcades around the place, right? You don't know who have COVID or supposed to be in quarantine on these motorcades. There's no reason for it, right? I called one of my friends last week to trying to find out something from him, and when he called, when he answered the phone, I asked him where he was. He told me he was in the bank, but he ain't supposed to be there because he's supposed to be home because he's in quarantine. So if you could be in quarantine according to saying you're supposed to be in quarantine, but you could be on the line in a bank or standing up to get to go inside a bank, right? You then tell me, Mr. Ministers of the government, how you other than fear mongering and scare tactics, right? How do you plan to police people going or going to get them into vote this election? Because for what
before you go, so as the previous caller said, you don't know. There's no way that everybody who would be with COVID or with in quarantine would be a supporter of one particular type of party. So
no, I
that
agree.
won't work. But to add to what you're saying though, this issue has come about mainly from other parties, especially the PLP. Right, because nobody was talking about this before, about, what about the people in quarantine, right? And it came up just around the time when the rallies and the motorcade started, because people could see what was happening. But they haven't been playing it up, and I think it would have gone unnoticed. People would have been there. People might have been in the line with you coughing, but who knows? But it would have happened. But now it's become a thing in the spotlight. And I don't know what's happening exactly, but...
Right. But final point before I go, Dwight, right? Because now that the ministers them come out with and they identify a specific number, right? If you could identify the specific number, right, then you should be able to contact those numbers of persons before this election if you want them to vote, and set up proper facilities like somebody suggested yesterday, a drive-through, one person in the car only, right? And you would you could pick up the information at one end and drop it off to the next end. But at the end of the day, you sure what's going on with these 6,000 people, but you're not sure what's going on with the 180 or 90,000 persons would have to come to that poll. So I believe it's a more risk for the 190 rather than the 6,000, because you know who these people are, and it should be easy to deal with them just because of their status. You guys have a nice day.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that sounds like it would be. Yeah, possibly, since they know, as you say, definitively the number. But there have been a lot of people who have not been contacted who really should be in either isolation or quarantine. And so there are going to be a lot more of those out and about as well. So you'll only partially get some people in that when you cast that net. Let's take some more calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning, Dwight. You said that's Chester in the studio with you?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good morning, Dwight and Chester. Hope you're all doing fine. 3 quick points, please, Dwight. And then, like Alan, I reserve the right to call back and make a comment on the economy. Look, Dwight, when you look at the fact that what is happening with the overseas election process on Barbados, this again draws to the point that the Prime Minister, the Minister of Health, the Minister of National Security, who has responsibility for oversight of elections, along with the Parliamentary Commissioner, although I don't have concerns with reference to his competence. I feel quite comfortable with his competence. I believe that he's being prohibited otherwise by his superiors in the cabinet. Competence again with not understanding and not knowing ahead of time or before the election process, what the COVID-19 protocols are in such countries so that we can prepare ourselves, so that we can know what time, what day, and what is required in order for us to execute advanced polls or in order to execute the general elections, allowing persons to participate by executing their sacred right to vote. This is insanity, Dwight. It absolutely makes no sense, and it demonstrates an extreme level of incompetence, and it also contributes to frustrating voters in those islands or in those countries. Because if you already made other provisions and you have to have your voting date change as a result of the incompetence of the government, who's to say that persons will have the opportunity to go back and vote again? And so we may lose thousands of voters to that very same level of competence committed by this government. Also, Dwight, when you look at the fact that the Minister of Health, but not so much him, on the interview conducted yesterday, in particular, the Minister of National Security, again, who has oversight for the elections, they are still relying on, or they're trying to rely on the advice of healthcare officials as it relates to their recommendation to not permit persons in quarantine who are contacts of COVID-19 patients and persons who have contracted COVID-19 not to participate. But that is completely beyond the issue, Dwight, because the law of the land makes the health officials and the cabinet and the prime minister subject to carrying out the laws. Therefore, it is not for health officials to determine who should participate or not. It is strictly for them to determine what is the best process to execute protecting health and saving lives so that they can participate. What is the best means by which the government can make provisions to ensure they do participate? But we still have, instead, the cabinet ministers going on record as of yesterday, trying to suggest that these persons may not have the ability to vote, and then on the flip side, trying to suggest that cabinet is still meeting, which is sending completely conflicting signals to the Bahamian public. And finally, Dwight, as it relates to the numbers of persons, what did you say the numbers of persons were who died from COVID-19 between March 2020 and I think you stated July of 2021, and then you stated the numbers for the persons who died between August 1st, 2021 and September. What were those numbers, please, Dwight? I want to make a quick comment, please.
It was between March 2020 and December 2020, 171.
Okay.
And since August 1st, 162.
Right. Dwight. You know, Dwight, I think this solidifies the point that I've been making on your show in particular, Dwight, as it relates to this government, the Prime Minister telling the Bahamian people with his mouth that he is concerned and he cares about protecting health and saving lives. But when you look at the facts of the numbers, Dwight, when you look at the rapid rate at which Bahamians and other residents and other persons have lost their lives, and in particular in this third wave, over only 1 month, Dwight, the fact tells you that the Prime Minister is still hosting rallies across our country, from the capital to Family Islands. And we haven't seen the extent of the damage from persons who will contract COVID, who will spread COVID, and persons who will die. It demonstrates and tells us factually that he does not care about saving our health or saving our lives.
Anton, that may be true, but don't act like it's only them. It's everybody. It's everybody. Are you not seeing the pictures of the people on your motorcades on the back of trucks? Are you not seeing those? I have some. I can send them to you. Pictures I've taken myself.
All I'm saying to you, Dwight.
So it's everybody. It's everybody's acting the fool. Everybody's acting the fool for some reason.
With all due respect, Dwight, all I'm saying to you is this, right? We have the Prime Minister, who's the head of our country. We have the Minister of Health, who's responsible for health care in our country and for guiding and managing and mitigating the process of COVID-19 at this time in our country in the third wave, especially. We have the Minister of National Security, who presides over elections in our country. In addition to the parliamentary commissioner, right? We have the people who head our country, who recognize what is happening, and they are still carrying out super spreader events. They are supposed to be leading by example, Dwight. They shouldn't have any rallies in this country except It is strictly guided by the health officials and health protocols, except a plan is laid out for exactly how it can happen. And the behemoth
So what's happening here? Because they're doing it, everybody else must do all the other things they want to do. Is that how we work now? Are we children?
No.
Are we
No.
six?
What I'm saying to you, Dwight, is the government of this country, the prime minister of this country, they are hypocrites. They do not care about preserving health and protecting lives. What I'm saying to you, Dwight, they should be leading by example as the government of this
Okay,
country.
and let's say they aren't. So
And they
what does
are.
that mean? That means it's fine to have a party. It's fine to have a motorcade. It's fine to
Absolutely
have a
not.
rally of your own. What are you saying?
Please don't.
Well, I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
Please don't try and conflate the very serious matters that I'm presenting, and I'm presenting them in a very simple and straightforward.
No, you're not. You're not.
Please
It's
don't
everybody doing foolishness, Anton. Everybody's doing foolishness. Everybody. We all see it. Everybody is out of their mind. It is madness. Right? And if you want to blame one side, that helps you to sleep at night, then people who can see know the difference. We know what's going on. It's all y'all, and some will say us too, everybody doing foolishness. Right? You shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be acting like this at this time. My God. We're going to regret this. We haven't seen anything yet. Let's take a break. We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Be prepared for the rainy season with an RBC loan to fund your rainy season essentials. For hurricane shutters, generators, solar power systems, or general home repair, RBC offers a range of flexible and competitive financing solutions. Let us help you get started at rbc.com/Caribbean/get-a-loan. Special conditions apply. Reimagine your rainy season readiness with RBC financing.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom, maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
To those affected by a hurricane, the damage is far greater than the eye can see. It's the pain of experiencing damage to your home. But there are people right here that can help. We're CG Atlantic General. We're your neighbors. We live here and work here too. We're always ready to answer calls and to process your claims as quickly as possible. So when a storm turns your life upside down, we're here to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
7:33, time for your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic, the hotspot, as usual, Miles Butler Highway, heavy traffic just near Harold Pond in the northbound lanes there. As you approach Tawny Bloom Charlotte Highway, you'll be seeing that traffic building near Harold Pond. Elsewhere, Gladstone Road looking better for you as an alternate route to Miles Butler Highway, but you will see the traffic building northbound the closer you get to JFK Drive. Blue Hill Road not looking too bad right now, but the traffic is building, especially near Carmichael Road and just north of Soldier Road as you approach Independence Drive. And elsewhere, we're just seeing some pockets at some of the major intersections. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. That's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined. And time for another check of your weather for today. We've got streaming tropical moisture along with troughing that will continue to support pockets of unsettled weather across portions of the northwest and central Bahamas. Elsewhere, we've got a weak pressure pattern that will maintain light to gentle winds over the islands. For today, for the northwest and central Bahamas, look for variable cloudiness, hot and humid conditions. Storms through tonight. Some showers may be heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Smallcraft advisory in effect due to swells. Smallcraft operators should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Boaters and residents being urged to remain alert for waterspout and tornado activity. And beachgoers urged to be alert for possible rip currents. And residents in low-lying and flood-prone areas should take special precautions against possible localized flooding during heavy and prolonged rainfall events today. In the southeast Bahamas, partly mostly sunny and hot, mostly fair and warm tonight. Smallcraft caution in effect due to swells. Another hot day in store. Highs getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. The heat index will make you feel like 105 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius, and you're being asked to limit outdoor activities and to stay hydrated. And overnight lows tonight getting down to 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, expect drier conditions across the area come Friday into Saturday. Meanwhile, Hurricane Larry will continue to generate hazardous beaching and boating conditions as it passes well to the east and northeast of the Bahamas into the weekend, but again, interacting with the surf conditions. So for Thursday, partly cloudy and hot with a few scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly across the northwest Bahamas. Also sunny and hot with a chance of a few isolated showers and thunderstorms. In the tropics, Larry, still a major hurricane, about 605 miles southeast of Bermuda. Maximum sustained winds are up to 115 miles per hour, moving northwest at 10 miles per hour. Elsewhere, there's an area of disturbed weather over the central and eastern Gulf of Mexico. We've been telling you about that for a few days. It's showing a medium chance, 50% chance now for tropical cyclone formation over the next 5 days, and it's moving toward the northeast and could be a problem for Florida over the next few days. But that's what we're dealing with. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
If you think you can't afford to dress to impress or replace those utensils or maybe even upgrade your household appliances, then you don't know Y-Care's Fashion Center. With 3 locations to serve you, Y-Care's Fashion Center features the things you need or want, all at a price that you can afford. Open Monday through Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Y-Care's Fashion Center also has the island's largest jean collection. Put the fun back in shopping and visit your favorite Y-Care's location today, where you can afford to look good.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy up to 150 megabits per second plus 157 TV channels and unlimited home phone minutes for only $99.99.
Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network. Conditions apply.
Let me ask you a few questions. What's your name?
Pam.
Favorite food?
Steak.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Is your money safe?
It's under my bed, so I guess so.
Are you serious?
Yeah, why?
Unless your money is in a bank or credit union that's a member of the Deposit Insurance Corporation, there's no guarantee it's safe.
Yeah, but what if something happens to the bank?
Your Bahamian dollar deposits are insured up to $50,000, so you'd still be ahead. Plus, your mattress might catch fire. Then what?
Man, those banks and credit unions are looking good right about now.
Visit the DIC's website at www.dic.bs. Protection for your money, guaranteed with DIC.
Hospitals are collapsing. Doctors say our healthcare system is past the breaking point. Nurses disrespected. Not enough beds or resources. Now, this government failed to disclose who's really benefiting from millions in COVID contracts. hiding who profits from travel visas, from food assistance, from COVID testing fees. So while healthcare collapsed, who got rich? The FNM can't fix the crisis. They are the crisis.
This has been a paid political announcement by the PLP.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win amazing prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.vaxbahamas.com to register.
This is Guardian Radio 96 Nassau, Bahamas.
Smooth like butter, like a criminal undercover. Don't pop like trouble, breaking into your heart like that. Cool shade stunner, yeah, owe it all to my mother. Hot like summer, yeah, I'm making you sweat like that. Break it down. Ooh, when I look in the mirror, I'm not too hard to do. I got the superstar glow, so ooh, to the boogie line. A side step right left to my beat. I like the moon rock with me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you, cause car can ship. Side step right left to my beat. Can't let it roll. Smooth like butter. Pour you in like no other.
And we are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards on this Wednesday morning. And you heard the commercial there a couple minutes ago, the COVID vaccine raffle. Have you entered yet? Remember, the winners are going to be announced here on Morning Blend beginning next week. So enter. Anybody who's been fully vaccinated, or even partially, that's what they said, right, can enter. Was it? Partially? Anyway, if you've been vaccinated, you can. Yeah, right? If you got your first, you can enter. And if you got your vaccines anywhere else in the world, you can still enter. So everybody but me and Chester, apparently, can enter to win. Yeah. So again, stay tuned for the first winners going to be announced on Monday here on the show. We continue to talk about what's in the news on this Wednesday. The government exploring options for voters in quarantine, getting a reaction to this as they talk about this, but time is running out. We've got the advance poll tomorrow. Now, before the break, Anton, the caller there, mentioned Barbados. We didn't get into it. Just so you know, that was supposed to be, of course, the day everybody else is having the advance poll, which is tomorrow, but that's been delayed to Friday. And the reason is because apparently circumstances requiring the designated presiding officer to be quarantined in Barbados by the pandemic restrictions there and won't be available by the Friday, right? And so Barbados requires vaccinated individuals to quarantine for 24 to 48 hours while waiting for the results of their antigen test, which must be taken upon arrival. So officials from the Parliamentary Registration Department will leave the Bahamas today to travel to Barbados, and then they'll have to be in quarantine. So that's why they're going to have to do that on Friday. So the timing of their arrival means that they cannot go to the facility where the advance poll is taking place until Friday. For this reason, according to the Attorney General, the advance poll was pushed back one day. Okay. Yeah. Let's hear what you have to say, folks, about all of this. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. A lot of text messages. We'll get to those in just a bit, but let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning. How are you?
Doing well.
You all right?
I'm doing well. Good morning. How are you?
Yes, sir. I'm fine. Listen, I want to find out how many people in the Caribbean that the government invited to come over to preside in elections. You all do not know, huh?
To observe it? We don't know. It's hard to get the information for some reason, but we're told that the representatives from the Commonwealth, but whether CARICOM or the OAS, we don't know.
Yeah, you know that we really do need people from the Caribbean to come over and give us a hand. Now, there's another thing I wanted to ask you. We have two buildings. One is education, and the next one is Taylor's Industries, right across from the hospital. Now, we know that the hospital is small, and they cannot take so many patients. With this epidemic, the hospital is crowded. People are out on the green. Why they couldn't try and see if they could lease the building for us? Right, Taylor's Industries? They could have leased Taylor's Industries. What happened to the beds? What happened to the tanks? These things that the Ministry of Health said that they were going to bring in. Where are the facilities? These people were out there in the rain are paying tax for this country. So why couldn't we get facilities? We could, like I'm saying, lease Taylor's right across the street from the hospital. That is not a far distance away where people can come in and they get a pass. You understand me? Even if they don't want to use education because it's an old building. But Taylor's right there. Taylor's closed down. And we have too many of our people dying every day because of this epidemic, because things are not planned properly. You cannot put an engineering man to say the BHK. Why the Prime Minister didn't take this portfolio? He is a doctor. I don't care. He ain't had no portfolio. He only was interested in jewfish, pearlfish. He should have took this portfolio over or leave Dwayne Sanchez. You cannot put an engineering person to deal with no epidemic. I don't care what nobody says. We're human people. We have to get the best. You watch United States. They try to get their best people to be in forefront of this.
Well,
okay.
Yes, but they do have a very different system. But I do get your point. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. A lot to think about there. We can be handicapped by the system we have here. We are beholden to who offers himself to run and the professions they are in. Right? We got a few exceptions with the Senate, but how long are we gonna be slaves to this system? But anyway, let's take this call and then we'll get to your text messages. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well.
Awesome. Listen, I am seriously concerned. I understand that we are in a pandemic, and I understand the COVID situation and everything, right? I understand everything that people are saying, but my concern is what are we doing about this lying virus that is destroying our country and destroying our economy and destroying everything?
What?
The lying virus. This government has a lying virus.
Oh.
It lies about it, and the media is not holding their feet to the fire and asking them to present facts to the things that they're saying to the people. They're allowed to say whatever they want to say to the people and just expect for the people to accept whatever, they say. And they're not presenting any facts, as to anything they come to the Bahamian people with, and for me...
Give us some examples. What are you talking about? In terms of the
they
lying
always talk
virus?
about these committees and stuff that they have, to deal with situations, say for COVID. Nobody know who these committees are. No one know who the members are. No one know who these doctors are that is making decisions for the country to say who can vote, who cannot vote. There's a whole lot of stuff
that's not. That's not true.
Okay,
they have a whole Ministry of Health. We know who the chief medical officer is, the deputy chief medical officer, the director of infectious disease, the director of this, the director of that. There's a whole team. You see them at the press conferences. Those are the people
I
and
understand.
others.
So they are the people that are saying who can vote in this country.
No, they're saying they're giving their recommendations. And they don't have to listen to them, which they often don't. But that's what they're telling you, that they say it's risky. They're recommending that you don't allow people with COVID to come out to vote.
That's fair. That's fine. But my thing is, somehow we need the fifth estate. We need the media to hold this government feet to the fire.
But you haven't given me an example of how that's not happened yet. Where is it not happening?
Well, listen, man. Every single day in the last couple of years since we have been dealing with Dorian, since we've been dealing with this COVID situation and everything, the government has just been, especially with all of the lies and stuff that I hear them.
Well, you only hear about the lies that you say through the media. So the media is presenting to you what the people tell you or tell us. and you're hearing it, you make the decision. They are asked by the media every day. Sometimes you see the questions and sometimes you don't, but they are asked all these questions every day, and they will not answer many. Often they say no comment, or they tell you something completely different from what you asked. So that's happening. Now you don't like what you're hearing. There you go. That's your takeaway from it.
It isn't that. Well, I don't like what I'm hearing.
Right.
But the thing is, I just feel like they're getting away with too much.
Well,
I
your
just
time
feel
to
like-
deal with that is coming up. You've got to either tomorrow or next week Thursday. You can deal with this now. It's in your
But
hands now.
Do you agree that this lying virus is doing more damage to our country? Than
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's a virus, but it affects many people in our world, including here in the Bahamas. But that's just the human race. That's just humans. But you have an opportunity to deal with it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Lying virus. Chester.
There ain't no vaccine for that.
No, not yet. Not yet. No. Well, there is a way to deal with it, but it's not called a virus. It's not called a vaccine. But okay. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Oh, all right. Let's take that other one there. We'll get to your text messages in just a bit. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight, and your co-host.
Hi.
I would say 5 years ago to this day, them 7 MPs was in a conundrum. What are we going to do with minutes? His brain don't function like a prime minister. We are stuck. That's how the coup got started, because they realized he got to lead this country, but we still went ahead and married the Garland. Now we are getting what we deserve. Prime Minister trying to get another term. He don't care who dies.
Okay.
He's trying to get 5 more years.
I mean,
for any reason that's necessary.
you know, that's not. You can't say that. You don't. All right. We are questioning why the election's happening now, but to say that is really, that's not okay. Not helpful in any way. Let's go to the text message. This person says here, my heart bled just to see that man sitting out in the rain taking his oxygen at the South Beach Clinic. God help us. Was that the South Beach Clinic? I know people were wondering where that was. Was that? Or was it
People
PMH?
kept saying it was, I think.
Yeah. Okay. But it was hard. It was hard to watch. It was very difficult. It's very sad. Absolutely. All right. This person says here, so all of a sudden the elections are now the cause of COVID deaths. What? Oh, what's happening there? Okay. So all of a sudden the elections are now the cause of COVID death increases. Weren't the numbers trending up before the fourth wave, because of the fourth wave, way before the elections were announced? My point is there are increases in deaths all over the world. It is because they are having. Is it because they are having elections also? Yeah. Well, that was a very weird point that our caller was making there. And there have been many events and many reasons why the numbers are trending up. You can't blame one group. It's everybody. Everybody. This one says here, while not surprising, it is very disappointing that in the face of the deadliest surge of this virus, a snap election was called, one with no contingencies for those who may have or have been exposed to the virus. We may not, as an administration, taking the necessary steps to bolster, strengthen, and expand our capacity to fight this deadly virus. We have had more than enough time to procure more beds, treatment options, PPEs, and even alternate venues to house, treat, and care those infected. It seems that one thing is said when the mic and cameras are rolling, but unfortunately the actions, or rather inactions, to adequately address and shore up our deficiencies during the pandemic paints a much bleaker story. Yes, indeed. Well said. This one says here, we are all the competent authority. No, that's not what it's saying. All the competent authority has to do is stroke his pen one more time and adjust the Constitution. What are you calling it, the Constitution? Is that a piece of paper in front of him? Because that's not how it works. Anyway, I'm still wondering how the competent authority amended the Parliamentary Elections Act yesterday when the legislature dissolved. Oh, you're missing some things. I don't know what's happening, but okay. I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, could you invite the Commissioner of Police to explain why his officers in the COVID police are not finding the various parties and supporters and leaders for breach of COVID protocol? In the past, anyone seen on photos were located and fined during a funeral on one of the family islands. I would call for his resignation. Yeah, we can ask. You know exactly what's going on, though. You know it. Anyway, Dwight and Chester, do you think they will poll the people in quarantine first before a decision is made? Maybe you can ask them questions like, do you think the government is doing a satisfactory job managing the COVID crisis? Oh, and if they say yes, they'll release you from quarantine.
Okay.
And you say, no way. They, oh, you are very ill. Please get back into bed. You're not thinking straight. You can't leave the house. We're going to board it up. Yeah. All right. This one says, my God, our prime minister should be ashamed calling a snap election. I say snap. I don't care who dared him to do it. Bahamian people's lives matter. Most of all, he should have waited it out, I think they're trying to say, until next year or until this pandemic got better. I'm so disappointed in this leader. He's heartless. Okay. Another one here. I tested positive for COVID-19 and was placed in isolation by the Ministry of Health for 10 days after my test result. I've retested negative, and I'm waiting for the Ministry of Health to release me. Please help me understand why I cannot vote in the advance poll tomorrow. Who am I a menace to exactly? The contact tracers, since they are avoiding me?
What?
Well, I mean, if you don't make the advance poll, you can do it election day, right? What's the problem?
Wait, they said the contact tracers are avoiding them?
Well, they haven't heard from them yet to get the clearance.
Wow.
But, right, you could do the election day if it doesn't work out. And I don't know who's going to stop you if you go tomorrow, but I didn't say that. Anyway, Dwight, it hurts my heart to see how Dr. Minnis was the one I guess I and my family supported as F&Ms. Okay. Call in to say it so I can know. We can know if it's true that you're. Anyway, when you look at what's happening with all this campaigning, it gets scary. The new cases are skyrocketing and are being ignored. 2 weeks from now, God forbid, many of them may not be able to vote. Well, it's next week, just to get a few selfish politicians elected. Yeah. Didn't have been exposed to COVID-19 than what is known and will be among the 190,000 voters that we have or we will have in quarantine election day. Clearly, the Prime Minister's goal is to have as many super spreader events as possible up to election day. Really? Yeah? How do you know this? All right. Why didn't one of your reporters pose that question about observers to the minister yesterday? Maybe they did. I don't know. Not everything can fit into the reports, but we'll find out. I'm very, very excited about this. I don't know if people have been this excited about observers before. But
right.
Well, it's very, very, very essential now. Wonderful. That's great. Keep it up. This one says the advice of health professionals does not trump the constitutional rights of people who are in quarantine or even those who may be positive. How many of y'all are in quarantine who are saying these things? Are you in quarantine now saying that, very good? Anyway, other jurisdictions have been able to hold elections without disenfranchising these people. The right to vote should be sacred. We have to be careful. This may seem small, but this is how dictatorships slowly form. Did not Menace say that the time will come when he'll have to do things that goes against the Constitution? Well, this is one of those times. Okay. All right. This goes back to the feminist the anti-feminist comments earlier. This person says, boy, you really sneak your insults in, but the facts are the facts. These feminist groups support political parties who pass laws giving their foreign wives citizenship, but not for Bahamian women. I don't know if you can say that. They support a political party that is running they should support a political party running 8 women out of 39. Oh, they do support. Okay. I don't know how you can speak in these generalizations like that. I'm not really with you, but okay. And again, just because you're a woman running a party doesn't mean that women, including feminists, who are not only women, will support you. That's not what it's about. That's not how it works. Anyway, We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now day 23, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First. Here's what's happening. We've got streaming tropical moisture along with troughing that will support pockets of unsettled weather across portions of the northwest and central Bahamas today. Elsewhere, weak pressure pattern will maintain light to gentle winds over the islands. So a lot's going on weather-wise. For today, the forecast for the northwest and central Bahamas calls for variable cloudiness, hot and humid conditions, widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Some showers may be heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. In fact, residents in low-lying and flood-prone areas should prepare for possible localized flooding during heavy and or prolonged rainfall events today. Small craft advisory is also in effect due to swells, and small craft operators should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms, and be alert for possible waterspout or tornado activity. For the southeast Bahamas, partly to mostly sunny and hot, mostly fair and warm tonight. Small craft caution in effect due to swells. Temperature-wise, 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius for your highs today, but the heat index will be in the triple digits again, getting up to 105 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius, and everybody's being asked to remain indoors, limit outdoor activity, and remain hydrated. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, expect drier conditions across the area Friday into Saturday. Meanwhile, Hurricane Larry out in the Atlantic will continue to generate hazardous beaching and boating conditions as it passes well to the east and then the northeast of the islands into the weekend. So for tomorrow, Thursday, we are looking at partly cloudy and hot conditions with a few scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly across the northwest Bahamas. Friday, partly to mostly sunny and hot with a few isolated showers and thunderstorms. In the tropics, as we said, Larry is out there about 605 miles southeast of Bermuda, east of Bermuda, but still will impact weather along the Atlantic, so including the Bahamas. Atlantic shorelines of the U.S. and the Bahamas will see sea swells, and that's going to create some hazardous conditions there if you are boating or beaching. And then we are watching that area in the Gulf of Mexico. It's over the central and eastern Gulf of Mexico, showing a medium chance, about a 50% chance for cyclone formation. Could bring quite a bit of rain to Florida over the next few days. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. And in your traffic this morning. Your real-time traffic brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. We've got Mile Butler Highway heavy traffic from well south of Fire Trail this morning. You're going to be seeing that in the northbound lanes there, and it's backed up along Fire Trail as well. All the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway, which itself is backed up quite a ways. Heavy traffic westbound to that roundabout there, and even out of the roundabout heading west. You're going to be seeing lots of congestion in that area. Gladstone Road looking better for you as an alternate route this morning, but still heavy traffic in the northbound lane as you get closer to JFK Drive. Elsewhere, Blue Hill Road, that heavy traffic north of Soldier Road as usual. We're seeing that in the northbound lanes there, heading to Independence Drive in the roundabout. And further south, Blue Hill and Carmichael, that junction is very congested, and Blue Hill and St. Vincent Road, you're seeing heavy traffic, mainly northbound this morning. Independence Drive is backed up as well, westbound to that roundabout with Blue Hill Road, and you'll see a bit eastbound as well, but not as much as westbound. East Street South, we're seeing heavy traffic from south of that roundabout with Independence Drive and East-West Highway, mainly the northbound lanes, but near Soldier Road, you're going to be seeing lots of congestion there. Soldier Road eastbound to East Street, also busy, and further down East Street and Bamboo Boulevard and Zion Boulevard, also a hot spot for you. In eastern New Providence, we've got just a bit of some pockets along Eastern Road, westbound, just west of Fox Hill Road, and at the major intersections like Prince Charles and Fox Hill Road, and Village and Soldier and Burnett Road and Wolf Road, that intersection there. Marathon Road northbound as well. We'll be seeing some heavy traffic there. That's what we're looking at, your real-time traffic and Morning Glen Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Music, man. This is another golden rule. Take it and don't be no fool. Check this. You'll never see a dog barking at a parked car. You'll never see him barking if the car ain't moving. You'll never see people talking about you if you're going nowhere. But when you're trying to excel yourself, they got your name everywhere. Because dog don't bark at car, no way. Come on. The only time they can start barking is when the car start moving. Hey, I say, dog don't bark at car, no way. Boy, she thinks she better than people. The only time he can start barking when the car start moving.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Trev this Wednesday morning, day before Advanced Poll Day, and 1 day and a week ahead of the general election. And just putting you on notice, folks. Advanced Poll Day tomorrow. You know, we've got some limitations as a broadcaster on that day, and on Election Day. We can't have. We have to. How do we put this? Curtail some of our broadcasts, right? The political broadcasts and ads are not allowed on polling days. Yeah, we know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Advanced Poll Day is considered one of those. Even Referendum Day, even referendum days are considered that as well. And so, I don't know what we're going to talk about tomorrow, but we'll have to find something else. We have spoken to you all about this before, and maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow, about that and how we do need everybody to be on board with this. What do you think of it? Do you think that having talk shows and commercials air, the political ads that you've been hearing, you think that influences people's votes on polling days, including an advance poll where you would think if anybody knows who they're voting for, it'd be advance poll people. This has been an issue for a little bit. But yeah, what do you make of that? That it's not the case in many other countries. They've moved beyond that. You've got ads going straight up until the polls close. But apparently we're not. I don't know. We're not.
It doesn't make a huge difference.
Again, on an advance poll day, especially, you would think, right? A case could be made for election day, like just stop it now, right? But advance poll day, you want to vote early. You know what you're doing. You've got your mind made up. Obviously, you do. I don't know. But hey, so that's gonna happen tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be talking about some other things. I'm sure it's gonna still be good. Still going to be good. So keep that in mind when tomorrow. But today we're talking about it, definitely. And we want to hear from you. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right, so we've got a lot of your messages. We want to get through those. And then we're going to talk about what's been published, all the different parties. I had said there were 7 from my count, but the parties are popping up. I mean, I'm in shock. We've got a lot. And the number of candidates and the symbols, and then you see the article about the POP concerned about a distorted symbol. We'll talk about that in a bit too. Let's get through some of these, and we'll get to that call and those calls and a lot of what is going on today. This person says here, Dwight, they must allow these persons in quarantine to vote in an advance poll. Realize that a lot of people who were on the motorcade will be in quarantine. If they were willing to drive around for hours to campaign for their party, what makes you think that they will stay home on election day? They must allow these people to vote on, or the election can easily be a super spreader event. Okay. We could have avoided all this if they weren't piled up on top of each other on the motorcades and at the rallies, which people were saying from then. And on nomination day, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? But anyway, this one here. How can you let Anton sully the reputation of the parliamentary commissioner? Huh? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're saying. What did he say? I don't think he said anything. Plus, that department is already in a sorry state. So he can't say anything that would cause any challenges. We haven't been able to get information out of that department for months before the election was called. Right? So, whatever. Yeah. This one says, where? Right? No?
It's true.
What percentage of people infected died between March 2020 and December 2020, and the percentage who died from January 2021 to now? Those numbers need perspective. Okay. This one says here, it honestly isn't fair to be tortured by Anton every morning. Okay, well. More about Anton. Okay, no. This one says here, good morning. The buck stops with the Prime Minister. Okay. Yep. Anton again. Anton is free to condemn Minnis, but he needs to condemn his own party as well when they do the same. Minnis is Prime Minister and Davis wants to be Prime Minister. If it's wrong to do it on the job, then it is wrong to do it when applying for the job. That's a fantastic text messages. Thank you very much. We need to save that and frame it for every 5 years for people to hear. It's not an acceptable excuse. Look over there, they're doing it. Why can't we? Stop it. Here's the thing. In 8 days' time, all of this commotion over the election will be done, and moving forward, upward, and onward as a nation is a stable fashion in key. In a minute, my future DPM, it ain't long, nah, Mr. Cooper. Well, okay. We could also have a whole bunch more people in the hospital in 8 days, but hey. Back to Anton. Anton must not have seen the motorcades and blocking up the streets from the non-wearing non-mask wearing PLPs. It is utter nonsense by both major parties. The PLP and FNM headquarters in Nassau Village are across the street from each other. So every evening it's chaotic trying to simply get past to get to my house. So you poor thing. My. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Morning, Dwight. Is it Chester?
Yes, it is.
Yes, okay. Didn't you get the memo that the advance poll has been pushed back one day until Friday? That's what the news said.
For Barbados.
You could check it, but that's what I heard on the news when you guys played the news, that the advance poll has been pushed back one day because of something to do with the workers at the registry or something.
Right.
Check it and confirm it for me, please. Thank you, man.
For Barbados.
Pardon me? Not for Barbados. I thought they said in the Bahamas. That came on our news. That's what the news said. You can check it to confirm it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, anyway.
Okay. All right. I don't know what's happening. Barbados. That's not here. That's Barbados. We talked about that already. Yeah. It's tomorrow. It's still tomorrow. All right. Requirement to isolate, to quarantine there in Barbados. Barbados is Friday. It's tomorrow. All right. More of your text messages here. When you see the payment people stop talking, they mean action. The people are tired of the prime minister. Most people waited 3 years just to react. We did it in 2017, and we're going to do it in 2021. Why is there such an outcry for more hospital beds, equipment, and staffing when the root cause is our people aren't doing what's necessary to stifle the transmission of the COVID virus? Please tell me. Another one. I know personally of someone who came into close contact with a COVID-positive person. She took the test and was negative. Subsequently, she got a call from the Ministry of Finance. Is that what you say? MOF. Ministry of Finance to quarantine for 14 days, notwithstanding her test coming back negative. She told Ministry of Finance that she needed a letter for her job. I think you mean health.
You know what it is? Why you keep reading Ministry of
I'm trying to figure out, maybe it is. I'm trying to see where it's going. But anyway, she told the ministry that she needed a letter for her job in order to quarantine. The ministry sent a letter advising that she had to quarantine until further notice. Now, do you think she should go out and vote without release from the ministry? If it were me, I was going out to vote. Yeah, somebody else texted about something similar to that earlier in the show. Okay. It's oh dear. Okay. Someone says it just dawned on me that our prime minister is a medical doctor with no portfolio. After he fired Dr. Sands, common sense would dictate that he himself would take on those health in the pandemic. Again, medical doctor and no portfolio. What am I missing? Another text. A lot of people are dying because nurses and doctors can't give enough attention to each patient because the hospitals are overcrowded. It's hard to tend to a patient in those circumstances. Another one here. I'm not on island on election day. That's why I registered and got approved for the advance poll. Oh, this is the person who's needs to vote in the advance poll.
Okay.
I mean, we can't be telling you what you know. Yeah. Hey.
Wait, what? Why did we need that bit of information?
I mean, remember, this is the texter from earlier who was saying that they also had a situation like that text I just read where they are waiting to be cleared, but no one's gotten back to them. And they're not going to be here, and they don't know what to do. Well, you know what? I can't. Hey, you know what I'm trying to say. I can't, right? I can't tell you. Yes. Okay. This person here, well, then let all the positive people come to the polls and vote. Then we can go from there. That's likely what's going to happen. It's likely what's going to happen. I'm telling everybody to double mask, You might want to wear gloves, go into, and take it off just to stick it in the ink thing and, wipe your hands off with several hand sanitizers, put them back in the gloves, double or triple mask back to the car, and hop in a shower as soon as you're done. Something like that. And make sure that you were 20 feet from the people
just put
behind you.
together the COVID protocol plan.
There you go. That's what the government needed to say all along. Don't drive with a lot of people in the car to the polling station. Yeah, there you have it. Okay. This person says, that texter said it all. That message was loud and clear. Our prime minister is heartless. Oh, my goodness. Okay, there we go again. I know this is not the topic today, but why is it that people born in the Bahamas from foreign parents that NIB refused to give an NIB number to are to be vaccinated? You need to give us some more information there. What are you saying? Are they here illegally, the parents, or what's going on? Something's going on. Okay. Dwight, you all need to interview Loretta Butler Turner to find out why she had to do what she did. And now we are suffering because she did what she warned us about. Okay. That's why we will always be known as a third world country. Too ridiculous. Dwight, this is all your fault. You joked about a zombie apocalypse in the past, and now we're living it. Well, yes, it is my fault. Everything is my fault, apparently. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Ron.
Hi, good morning.
And good morning, Chester. I'm voting tomorrow. I'm elderly, and my nephew is taking me to the poll. And I just go to cast my vote, and I'd be back home. But now, I want to dip my finger in that ink, Mr. Strawn.
Yeah.
I don't want to dip my finger in that ink. Suppose I have a cut on my finger. Mr. Strawn, I don't have the wires. It's only my one in my house. I'll say God and me in my house. And I don't want to dip my finger in that ink. And I will protest against it when I go to mark my X. I don't want to put that ink on my finger, because when my nephew dropped me back home, I stay put. Mr. Strawn, from the time this virus was going around, I've been out of my house once.
All right, so the only thing I can say is I'm pretty sure there's going to be hand sanitizer. That's the only thing I can say. I'm pretty sure there's going to be, right? But bring your own wipes as well.
Yes,
bring
I'll
your
do
own
that
wipes.
too.
Wipe before.
Yes, sir.
And of course, they're going to wipe it with a regular tissue after, but wipe with hand sanitizer or wipes again afterward.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully everybody thinks like that. Bring wipes, bring hand sanitizer, do that before and after.
Yes, sir.
And it shouldn't be that bad. I don't think it's going to be that big a problem.
I would like to vote for Jeffrey Lloyd, but that ink.
No.
But they will have to do something with me.
I suspect the people standing near you will be a bigger problem than the ink.
Well, my mouth is very sharp. My mouth is very sharp.
Well, don't talk to them too much. All right, keep everything closed.
Yeah.
But hopefully people will, because people don't seem to
I
understand.
wear my mask. My mask.
Yeah, I know it's hard to breathe through two masks, but you might want to try it. Yeah.
But what I does when I did went out couple of months ago, I did put some hand towel, just one layer hand towel in the mask.
I know that helps, but for the brief moment while you're there, try two masks. Try that. I know it's very difficult. It's very difficult, but try that. But I think we're going to be okay. Just as long as people keep the distance, and like I said, that's scarier than the ink.
Yeah, I'm 86 years of age.
Okay, so you got 86 more in you, I'm sure. All right.
Yes.
Be
God
safe.
is good to me.
Yes.
And
indeed.
I'm good to God.
That's wonderful. Be safe tomorrow, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Take care. All right. Yeah, I know a lot of people worried about the ink. That person in the back talking, and they're going to be talking. They're going to be talking. That person is more dangerous than the ink. I guarantee you.
That's for sure.
I don't know why they got to be talking so much all the time. But anyway. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Talking about the ink. Does that ink really serve a purpose? Because when you go into the room, they don't even check your finger under no ultraviolet light. You even see if ink on your finger.
Well, I mean, it's really hard that to come off in that one day.
No, you could get it. I usually get mine off, everything off.
Yeah? In that one day,
And
even
now-
around the
and
nails?
couple minutes.
Oh, boy.
In couple minutes.
Uh-huh.
But I saying the point is,
Well, don't
they
tell
don't
people
even
how you
put-
do it.
They don't even put your finger underneath any light to check you. So that's supposed to be the purpose of the ink, right? And if you could get it off in a few minutes' time, clean. Nail.
It's something special. But don't tell people how you do it, and then hopefully people...
I know what I do, okay? But I still say, is the ink really, in this day and time, is the ink necessary? Because at the end of the day, if you have a corner foil with my picture on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
My name, right? If I show up someplace else under a different name with a different picture, that goes to show you that we need to use technology.
Yeah.
Because you could put a picture on a number of cards, but if the parliamentary registration department doing proper scrutiny of all the constituencies, and they have a database with all the pictures in it, and for all the constituencies, and you run the database for all the constituencies, and you see somebody picture pop up twice. I mean, you can't really hide your looks too much nowadays, because you can't wear no shades, and you gotta have your shirt a certain kind of way. You can't wear no cap. So I really, so the purpose of the ink, me personally, I think the ink doesn't even make any sense. I think that's a waste of money. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, all right.
And then my last point,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people, the minister said that he isn't going to take any portfolio. You know, we need to learn how our country is run. The Constitution defines what is the portfolio for a minister. Not because you don't have a ministry does mean that you don't have a portfolio. Okay? You wouldn't see the word ministry in our Constitution. You wouldn't see that word in there. Okay? You would see government department or I think it's government department you will see. Okay? So everybody feel like because you don't have to say I am the minister of whatever, that I don't have a portfolio. The mere fact that he's the prime minister, he has a portfolio. Because he's a minister, he's just the prime minister, whoever the person is, be it Dr. Minister, whoever. And the prime minister is always the CEO, okay, of the cabinet. So this ain't nothing to do what Dr. Minister is doing, only the wording, or I'm not going to have a portfolio. You have all kind of portfolios. People would read the Constitution and understand what it means to have a portfolio. It doesn't have to do with a ministry, okay? It doesn't have to do with a ministry, because ministry is statute law. Ministry is not in the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
So people need to stop saying, "Oh, he didn't have a portfolio." He has a portfolio. The mere fact that he's the prime minister, stuff fall underneath him as prime minister.
Okay.
That
All right.
he's responsible for.
Thank you very
And
much.
That's what portfolio means. Lock it up in the Constitution.
All right. I appreciate it. Hope people are listening. Let's take this call and we'll read these messages, and we've got to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Chester, and the whole Bahamas, everyone who's listening around the world. Y'all okay?
We're doing well.
Yeah. I know they ain't responsible, right? I guess something to say about the ink, too. When I hear the lady say she won't vote for Jeff Lloyd, I say, since she won't vote for Jeff Lloyd, she says she won't stay home. Maybe that'll be a good idea, but we can't discriminate nobody.
Oh, no.
In spite of, I think Jeff Lloyd is a lousy, worthless cabinet minister. Yeah, that's my opinion, Dwight. In spite of that,
Right.
I still think that lady, if she won't vote for Jeff Lloyd, she should be accommodated to vote. I wouldn't vote for him. Yuck, right? But she should be accommodated, right? Dwight, I won't vote too. I won't vote to either get rid of this government or vote into a new government, right? I don't want to put my hand in the ink neither. But Dwight, you know what I could do? I can force myself. I can do what I gotta do because vote is important. My life is important. But like you say, I got double mask. I can put on my glove and everything. I wish they don't let me put my hand in the ink. But if I put my hand in the ink, if I have to put my hand in the ink to vote, I can do it. But I believe we must go there. The 10% the Guardian reported on say might not vote. People think about it. mask up yourself and everything, right? And let's go do it. They should accommodate us. We should have been able to vote home and don't have to go there. So let's vote on our new government or vote on this government. Let's do what we got to do. We must bite the bullet. We got to do it. We got to force ourselves to go there. I really believe it will be a super COVID spreader event, but I can take that chance to either get rid of this government or vote in a new government. Y'all keep up the good work.
Okay, thank you very much.
Very passionate.
Yeah. This text as we go to the break. Can I bring my own ink, pad, and pencil?
Sure, you do what you gotta do.
I don't know if that's gonna work, but
Let them answer that question at the pool.
it would have been great if we could have had the commissioner on to answer those questions. But maybe in time for the next election. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Now that your age is not everything, now that your kids call you for advice, now that you can achieve anything you set your mind to, why stop? Nourish Your Ensure provides protein, antioxidants, key vitamins, and minerals to support your immune system. Now that it's your moment to enjoy your vitality, why stop? Your life, your health, your Ensure.
You've tried everything. ASUS with your mother's cousin's sister's auntie, and even hiding your money under your mattress. But is your money safe? Your Bahamian dollar deposit in a member bank or credit union is insured up to $50,000. If anything happens, your deposit up to the insured value will be returned to you thanks to Deposit Insurance. Visit Deposit Insurance Corporation at www.dic.bs.
Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
Growing up over the hill, Dr. Minnis learned the importance of education. That's why the FNM is delivering on its commitment to expand education access, improve academic opportunities, and push to make the University of the Bahamas tuition-free. And it's why the FNM is repairing and building schools in every corner of the Bahamas, paving the way to a brighter future. The FNM is making a difference for the next generation of Bahamians. September 16th, vote FNM, because it's about your future.
This has been a paid political announcement from the Free National Movement.
Hurricane season is here. If you're not prepared, it can really turn your life upside down. Fortunately, there's CG Atlantic General. Our people are here ready to assist at a moment's notice, with protection like alternative accommodation for those who are displaced due to a storm. It's our priority to make sure you have what you need when you need it most. So when your life gets turned upside down, we can help to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.baxbahamas.com to register.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Get ready to mash this party up. It's Rick and Script full non-stop. Hey! Rick and Script. Rick and Script. D-Max style. Rick and Script. Oh, yeah. Rick and Script. I see you coming from a mile away, girl. I see ya coming. Girl, I see ya. Hey! She says she's a real good girl. She only goes to church then home. I say I'm a real good guy like Rick and Script. I stay in my zone. She says she don't buy.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with Chester Robards. In a few minutes, we're going to be talking about the economy, what you want to see in the future, what the parties are saying about the future with the economy and business in the Bahamas, which ones you think are on the right path, or who's clueless, what isn't being said about the way forward. We can get into that in a few minutes in Morning Blend Business. Let's take this call, and we'll continue to read your messages. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, a pleasant good morning, Mr. Strachan, and good morning, Chester.
Hi, good morning.
Hope you're doing well and safe.
Trying.
Dwight, I want to speak to the what you mentioned about not being able to air ads and stuff like that. I don't know who makes these policies or these rules, but it's just in my opinion, it's archaic, it's myopic, and it's really asinine. Do you realize that in the government that they have a policy? I don't know whether it's enacted under the general orders, rules and regulations, that you cannot wear certain colors that have been selected by various political parties. I had a customer come to me and said that she had to get something made before election start because they were told that you cannot wear these colors because these colors are PLP colors or F&M colors. Dwight, if you have a red tie, if you put on a red tie at, tomorrow, does that make you an F&M?
Well, around here, who
No,
knows what
but
people
I mean,
think.
does that
but
make
I
don't
do get
care-
your point.
Yeah, but so, I mean, if I have all the colors of the rainbow, if I wear them every day or different other days, why would somebody think that I am aligned to that party?
Yeah, that's very sad.
And when that is perpetrated by the government, that, to me, that fish things from the head. And when the government starts to do this thing, the people, what do you expect the citizens to do? So I mean, we got to stop this, man. We need a progressive society. The average person, to me, don't really think like that.
Mm-hmm.
As a young T-shirt, if I wear a red T-shirt, a yellow T-shirt, T-shirts can't vote. So we got to get beyond this thing, man. I know who I can vote for, and ain't nobody could come and change my mind. I don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
My mind is already made up.
Yeah.
And
Are you in the advance poll tomorrow? Are you taking part in that, or are you waiting for election day?
No, I'm not quite there yet. I
Oh,
still need
okay.
a couple of more years in order to get.
You might have had. You might have been in a field where you would have been allowed to do that. I
But
wasn't
I mean,
talking about
but
you.
Listen, we say we are going to be progressive,
Mm-hmm.
and these kind of thinking cannot continue to exist in our society.
Yeah. Well, we can change it. We can change it. Well, hopefully, we'll get to talk about this tomorrow, right? And it is up to members of the public. You've got to express this more vocally. I can tomorrow. I'll tell you more about what happened. So it isn't the government with the ad issue, with the conversations, with the topics on the shows. That isn't a government policy.
No, I mean that's IRCA, right?
Right. So it's not the
And
government,
which
but
is-
IRCA.
was established by the government. I know
Sure.
it would be an independent thing.
Right. So it's media stakeholders and the public need to be more vocal about what they want.
Yeah,
And so
come on, man.
in the past, Guardian Radio might have been the lone voice saying that this is crazy. I can tell you that.
This to me is crazy. I mean, people who go to the poll on advance, they already know who they're going to vote for. Like the woman say, she's going to vote for Jeff Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
And 99% of the people who go in there, they don't care what they hear or whoever they meet or whatever. Their minds are made up, So, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to
Thank
do
you.
better than this, man. We got to be progressive,
Thank you very much. All right. So, like I said, when we talk more about it tomorrow, you'll see that it's not for lack of trying on some people's part, but others were like, well. So we definitely need your support to change this, right, Bahamian people? All right. Another message about the ad situation and the content on advanced poll days. If Bahamians are so easily influenced, I'm editing, that they can't hear political ads without losing their minds, then we shouldn't have any ads at all, including ads for burgers. And yeah, well, boy. Oh, boy. A couple more messages before we take a break here. This person says, use of the ink in our voting system is symptomatic of a culture that is lethargic toward examining processes for relevance and making adjustments as warranted. We simply run with systems as if perceived not to be broken, if not fixed. Broken to be broken is not fixed, right? Okay. Another message here for all politicians to say that campaigning is not safe and can increase the COVID numbers is to admit they should not be campaigning. That's not going to happen. Will I need to pull my face mask down so poll workers can see my face and compare it to my ID? Oh, boy. More than likely. Hey, yeah, let's hope. You know, previously there have been a lot of representatives from the parties in the polling division, in the station, in that room with you. But are they going to have that many people? How are they going to do it? Again, we don't even know what the setup is, right? No one has said a word. No clue. How is this going to work? That's and cloth. When in public, I do not find it difficult to breathe. Well, very good for you. Very good. Another text. The ink is archaic and people don't know how to move on. It shows the data handling isn't good enough to know for sure if you did or did not vote that day. Feels like Woods Rogers is still the governor. Oh, wow. Well, the piracy is rampant still. Yes, they don't go arg, but they got a lot of pirates around here. So maybe
they cut your thumb off after you vote.
Did you get a chance to vote? I don't think there was any option. It was just whatever they wanted, right? They wish they had a chance to vote. Oh, boy. Nobody told me where to go for early voting. I'm in Nassau Village. Well, you should have picked up some newspapers this week. Let's see. Do I have the time to do this for you to find out where you are? Yeah, there was a list. Stay tuned. I'll find it for you and tell you where. But am I going to have to do that for everybody? No. All right. Let's take that break. When we come back, we'll get into that. And want to hear from you about what you are hearing from the various groups. Are you hearing anything from the various groups other than this person sucks, I'll be better? Are you hearing anything about their policies? Anything sticking out to you and sounds good? If not, what do you want to hear? We're getting into that when we come back with Morning Blend Business. Stay with us.
It's Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Hospitals are collapsing. Doctors say our healthcare system is past the breaking point. Nurses disrespected. Not enough beds or resources. Now, this government failed to disclose who's really benefiting from millions in COVID contracts, hiding who profits from travel visas, from food assistance, from COVID testing fees. So while healthcare collapsed, who got rich? The FNM can't fix the crisis. They are the crisis.
This has been a paid political announcement by the PLP.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
Breakfast just got better at Wendy's. Introducing the Breakfast Biggie Bag. Enjoy a double sausage muffin with 2 square sausage patties, a freshly cracked egg, and cheese served on a toasted English muffin, a medium waffle fries, and an orange juice for only $5.25, VAT inclusive. And an apple pie for just $1 more.
Say what?
Better breakfast is all day. Offers valid in participating locations. Wendy's, different inside and out.
Be prepared for the rainy season with an RBC loan to fund your rainy season essentials. For hurricane shutters, generators, solar power systems, or general home repair, RBC offers a range of flexible and competitive financing solutions. Let us help you get started at rbc.com/Caribbean/get-a-loan. Special conditions apply. Reimagine your rainy season readiness with RBC financing.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, September 8th, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And today we're doing a lot. It's all election themed this morning, but we're doing a lot about the election, which is a week away, a week and a day. And the advance poll is tomorrow. And we are talking about whether you've heard anything so far, you've read anything, seen anything that you feel is on the right path when it comes to business and the economy going forward. We went through the two major parties' platforms last week in great detail and saw some interesting things on both sides and saw a lot of similarities as well. And we want to hear from you what you liked and what you didn't like from what you've heard, and maybe what you haven't heard that you wished you had or read. And so that's what we're talking about today. All of that, along with more of what we were talking about earlier about concerns about the advance poll tomorrow and about the general election next week and what's supposed to happen, the safety protocols that we're not hearing much about. Will there be multiple observers from the parties in the room when you go to vote? Will there be international observers as well? How are they going to manage all these people in this small area on election day with what's happening with COVID? So many questions. Don't know what is not talking. Some people apparently are intentionally not talking to us as well. And okay. Well, this is just a very special scenario. Anyway, we had a texter earlier asking about early voting, and they were in Nassau Village, didn't know where to go. All right, so you can go on elections.gov.bs. There's also a full-page ad in the Tribune today about this. And let's see, Nassau Village, you are at Sadie Curtis Primary. Nassau Village, Pinewood, Seabreeze, Sadie Curtis Primary. Should I read all of these, Chester? What do you think? Oh boy. Okay, let's do it. Fort Charlotte, Garden Hills, your location is H.O. Nash. Baintown and Grantstown and Centerville, C.R. Walker. Elizabeth, St. Anne's, Yamacraw, Doris Johnson. Fox Hill, Freetown, Marathon, C.I. Gibson. Engliston, Mount Moriah, St. Barnabas, Government High. Nassau Village, Sadie Curtis. Golden Isles, Tall Pines, Garvin Tynes. Bamboo Town, South Beach, C.V. Bethel. Carmichael, Golden Gates, Southern Shores, Anatole Rogers. And Killarney at Gambier Primary. And for Freeport, Central Grand Bahama and East Grand Bahama, you are to go to St. George's High School. Marco City, Jack Hayward. West Grand Bahama and Bimini, 8 Mile Rock. Now, 8 Mile Rock High School, okay. So, what about Bimini? What are they supposed to do? They're supposed to fly into what? What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Sounds like it.
Huh? What? Okay. Anyway, West Grand Bahama and Bimini go to 8 Mile Rock High School. Well, good luck there. Pine Ridge, Jack Hayward Jr. High School. So Marco City, Jack Hayward Senior High School, and Pine Ridge, Jack Hayward Junior High School. And for the Family Islands, you are to go to the Family Island constituencies or the University of the Bahamas Michael Eldon building. I guess if you're in New Providence. Yeah? Okay. And then there's a whole list of the places abroad, but you'll have to pick up that paper to read that, or go onto that website. All right. Yeah. All right, so let's hear what you have to say. And between all of that, we'll also talk about a list of the parties. There's so many of them. And then this issue with the PLP and the symbol, that we didn't get to that earlier. And some of the other interesting things that are coming out. Somebody showed me this story in today's Nassau Guardian. This is quite interesting, folks. It's a short one, so I can read it. Drug case adjourned due to political campaign. Yeah, you heard. Yes, that's right. Drug case adjourned due to political campaign. Our RTZ Davis writing, a defense lawyer's political campaign forced the adjournment of a $1.6 million cocaine trial yesterday. Jomo Campbell, the Progressive Liberal Party candidate for Centerville in next week's election, represents pilot David Hines, who is accused of making a drug run from Haiti along with Brandon Strachan. Authorities got information about the drug run and had the plane under surveillance after it left Haiti. According to police, the pilot tried to evade authorities by first landing in Long Island and then flying to Arthurstown and Cat Island. After the plane landed, police alleged that Strachan ran into bushes with 2 suitcases filled with 58 kilos of cocaine. Making note of Campbell's campaign, Magistrate Samuel McKinney adjourned the case to November 15th. Strachan's lawyer, Alex Dorset, joked that Campbell would have to send another lawyer in his stead as he will be in another place. By that time, I guess. McKinney said he had no comment on that. But, okay. All right. So, that's interesting stuff. Yeah. That's how it goes. All right, just wanted to read that for you. All right, so let's talk, folks. What do you make? What are you encouraged by what you're hearing? What is encouraging, and what aren't you hearing about plans for the economy? You know, there's been some talk about taxation, revisiting taxation in the country, tweaking that party, and finding new avenues, new revenue streams, and new ways to tax people. Well, at least that's on the table. That's what we're told. And many are predicting that expect taxes, new taxes next year. What do you say to that? New and additional. Well, especially additional, eh? Taxes with... Tax what? Where's the money going to come from? Many people are saying, where are you going to tax? Where am I going to pay? How am I going to pay the taxes? With what? But what are you hearing that is encouraging to you? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. Your Morning Blend Business. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. I can hardly hear you. Sound so far in the background.
And you sound extremely loud, but okay.
I can't hear you.
All right. I think that's something
up now.
That's something up with your phone, though. But we can hear you, Sparky. Go on.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, sir. You know, there's some issues that I haven't heard anybody mention anything. One of them is the illegal immigration problem. I've not heard anybody mention anything about the shanty towns. I've not heard anybody mention anything about the outbreak of COVID. If there's nobody inspecting the shanty towns, can we have an onslaught of COVID going on in the shanty town unchecked, coming into the community? Because we know a lot of people don't just live in the shanty town. They come uptown, they come and they work and live among us. Nobody knows, nobody's saying anything. You know, I'm hearing about taxes, levying more taxes on us, but our salaries are remaining the same. Just depending on national insurance income. And then you're going to put taxes on us, and then everything coming into the island because of what your guy was talking about yesterday, supply and demand. And our places where we import most of our stuff from, like China and US of A. The prices of import and duties and everything going up on us, but our salaries seem to be diminishing. And nobody's saying anything, but how are we going to battle that if the cost of living is going up on me, but my salary is remaining the same? I'm losing out every day, and you talk about taxing me more. Taxing me from what on what? Have a good day, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah, that's the reality, and don't expect it to get better after the election.
Wow. Let's hear from this caller. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. Are you there? No? All right. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right. Okay. Interesting text here. Do you have a list of the candidates for the UCP, the United Coalition Party in Grand Bahama? I don't. You should be able to find that. You should be able to find that. I mean, I could look on their social media or their website. That should be easily available, right? Easily accessible. And if it's not, that says a lot. That says quite a lot. But yeah, that is one of the new parties, and it published yesterday. All the parties are going to be taking part in this. I had done an earlier count and came up with 7 or 8, but there are many that are popping up daily. Now, this is interesting. There's some parties that have merged, but they're still listed here separately. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's just an error, but it's just going to cause some confusion. Anyway, they still have the Bahamas Constitution Party and the Bahamas Democratic Movement, which we know many of the members of both of those have come together to form, along with the People's National Coalition. The 3 of those are the United Coalition, unless there are some holdouts. Not clear as to why they did. So maybe that's why my number might have been lower. But anyway, they still have them here. The Bahamas Constitution Party, Bahamas Democratic Movement, Bahamian Way Forward Movement.
That's a party?
I've never heard of them. Their symbol is an arrow heading to the right. Mm-hmm. Well, yes. The Christian People Movement. The Coalition of Independence. The Democratic National Alliance, that's still a party. Faith That Moves Mountains Party. Now, that's something.
What? What is this?
Faith That Moves Mountains Party.
Right.
The FTMM.
Okay.
Free National Movement. The Grand...
What's that?
Something called the Free National Movement.
Oh, okay.
You've heard of them?
I think it sounds familiar.
It sounds familiar. The Grand Commonwealth Party. Then there are the independent candidates. The Kingdom Government Movement. The People's National Coalition. We talked about them before, supposedly. The Progressive Liberal Party. The United Coalition. And then the Righteous Government Movement Party. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, but as I said, a couple of these have merged, so 15 minus 3 is at least 12, and then the independent, so that's 11, really. Okay. Yeah. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Morning, Dwight and Chester.
Hi, good morning.
Last time I voted, right? I remember my ballot has a number of numbers on it that match the count of polls. Tomorrow, I want the people who voted to see if any numbers on the back or front. Either you can just cross them numbers out or tear them off because they can trace it if they're there. Your ballot should be clean, right?
There are numbers.
Huh?
There are numbers, yes.
Why?
They know who you voted for.
I know. I always ask why they have to trace the count of polls to know who you vote for.
Yeah.
You could cross them out or tear the number off.
No.
Why?
You can't do that.
Why are the numbers there? It would be a secret ballot.
It's not quite a secret ballot.
It would be something else. Listen now.
That's been the case from the beginning.
Minutes even caught the court off guard. Last time, Papa, he gave us 3 months to campaign. Minutes give us less than 1 month. I don't know what is his motive to call this election. Everything goes with a motive. Why did he call this election so snap in this deadly, earthly virus war we're into? Why? I guess only him would know his shortcomings. This is a perfect storm for him, but a bad storm for us. What do we got to do? Well, don't you think so?
I don't know what that means, but yes,
Because
you've got to do what you got
put
to
us
do.
in this predicament as leader of this country. He ain't going to get ventilators. He ain't going to get bed. He ain't talking to us. He can't meet the press. He can't face the nation. You have his minister talking. Why Wells playing prime minister? Why Wells? He is the I got like a pseudo prime minister, getting his big salary and not want to do his work.
Well,
Same characteristics those MPs tell us about. He's lazy. He's an inept.
Boy.
The
Okay.
MP wrote in a letter to the DG. He fulfilled every commitment in that letter as prime minister of this country. He's inept of his duties. He cannot beat the press.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Oh boy. Wow. Let's see. They're asking. What did I do? I really can't be. They want me to find out who the candidates are for the United Coalition Party. Okay, let's see. I have this. Grand Bahama. According to when they were on the show, and there was a flyer going around. Okay, so here we go. So this is what it says. I don't know if this is updated or accurate, but for Grand Bahama, Central Grand Bahama, Troy Garvey. East Grand Bahama, Maria Nemore Pinder. Marco City, Harold Roberts. And for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Hiram Roll. So that's 4. What's the 5th one? Which one's missing there? I don't know the constituencies in Grand Bahama. My Grand Bahama listeners, tell me which one didn't I call there? West Marco City, East Grand Bahama, Central Grand Bahama. Well, Pine Ridge. That's Pine Ridge.
Pine Ridge.
Okay. So they're not challenging McAlpine. Okay. So there you go. How do you like that list, Grand Bahamians? Tell us what you think about that one. Interesting text here. Let me read this one. I actually liked some of the ideas that the Bahamas Constitution Party put forth in their manifesto, but they've now joined the new coalition. So I guess that document is null? That's a good question. What happens? Some of the parties, right, they didn't always see eye to eye on some of these issues, but what happens now after you've joined forces? What's the prevailing view on things? All right, let's get to some of your text messages. You can continue to call us, by the way. Isn't it interesting that the CEO of IRCA was once a talk show host? Well, again, as I was saying earlier, it's not a decree from IRCA. The industry has to come together to agree on it, and the public is a stakeholder too. So there needs to be, if you have an issue, and I said this before the last election, if you have an issue with us, with that, make it known, make your voice clear that you don't need this to be the case, that you don't need the media to not play ads on election day or not allow talk shows to talk about these issues on polling days. That we are more mature than that, and that is an archaic view on anything and everything, and we can move beyond that. That needs to be very clearly stated. As I was saying earlier, I can tell you that in our industry meetings, Guardian Radio definitely put forward the view that this is foolish, and it was viewed by others in the media. In fact, it was a minority view, hence the reason it's still the way it is. Nothing to do with IRCA. They're there, and they go with what the majority says. But others were like, yeah, we don't see the big deal. One day won't kill you. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Glenn. How are you?
Doing well.
Wonderful. You do a fine job every morning.
Thank you.
Even though the job is complicated and then it's still sometimes, but you pull through. I'm calling really concerning the headline, this morning headline inside the Guardian newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
There are the two ministers that is blaming forward, and one is egregious by a magistrate found guilty, not guilty, but in an egregious position. And here it is. This man wanted to disfranchise some Bahamians You know, and what happened is that under him, there were policemen comparing notes and being witnesses, dropping phone calls inside the.
I mean, this is a lot of. We could not make it personal, but the issue is big. Yes, are voters going to be disenfranchised?
But what I'm saying is here it is. He's making these great decisions which are personal to us as voters.
Well, no decisions have been made as yet. But they are, but
as it gets closer, you could tell me now why you dragging your feet and you know the election already have been called.
But are you not concerned about potentially sick people standing next to you in line voting? Are you not worried that could be a big problem?
Now see, you see where you're carrying this. Those voters don't have to be next in line to you, or they could be voting a certain place. Just like how you just called those places where those people are going to vote, they could go and vote at a certain place because they are in that position.
Right.
Okay. We have people that think inside that government, you know, but they don't have the will to do it because of their leader.
Okay.
But so therefore, the inner city it can't wait. How much more days you got now? 5 more days?
No, it's, what is it, Chester? 7, 8? 8 days.
Not much.
8 days.
Look here, we just can't wait. We got to pay this government back for the way they handle us. We're not as dumb as they think we are. You know, and hopefully the airways will be much freer, and you could get your own station, man.
Well, I'm very happy where I am. I don't know what you are trying to say, but the freer, well. Again, how? It's not about that. Let's not get it twisted. But we need you all to be more vocal, on that. Okay. But you remember what I was saying earlier, right? So even for who don't have COVID, who aren't in quarantine, there are questions to be asked about what's going to happen in that booth. Who's going to be in there based on how it usually works? All the observers, the parties, you got potentially 15 parties, right? Are each one of you going to have somebody in there? Even if it's just, is it 3 major parties? I don't know how many. 3 or 4 of the major parties. That's a lot of people, in addition to international observers and the people at the Parliamentary Registration Department. How is all that going to work? So you're talking about having a special place, a special setup for people who are in quarantine and who have COVID, and yet we need to be concerned about regular people who may or may not that they're not regular, people who are not in quarantine or who don't have COVID, right? So it's a lot that we are facing at this time. We'll take that call before we go to the break. Let's do that. Not hearing anything about how you feel about these ideas for the economy in the future. I guess we'll get to that once we get over the election day. Yeah, perhaps. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dua.
Hi. Good morning.
Yeah, you know how our economy have a commanding height, right? Well, these plans here is the commanding height, you know, right? And at least they should have a commanding height. And the most important things and should be most important. Let's look at the most important things to the poor. You know, about universal health care, and you see, you know, the issue all over the world is about, in terms of health care, you need an insurance.
Well, okay, now let's talk about that. You know, everybody has been talking about that. But we're going to have to tax, and that's what it is, if we really do it properly. And that has been where there's been a lot of resistance. That's the reason why there's so much resistance.
Early in the F&M term, they began to talk about the insurance of it, right? And wherever you pay into these private health insurance. But like I say, that's a discussion all over the world. In the UK and the European nations, they got a single-payer system. Now, if you want to pay for the private insurance, that's on you, but it's mandated that you pay the public health system. See, and as well as and now they dealing with more emphasis on the social network, social network now in the UK with an increase in the and the workers are insurance. You understand? So these people are progressive. You see, there's nothing here about public housing. You know, public housing. Poor people cannot afford.
Well, they both, at least the two major parties, both said something. It's very vague. We don't know what it means. Well, they say low cost.
Say that they're gonna repair the public housing, right? I don't know public housing. Housing for the poor is public housing. It's not low cost housing. You see, and poor people cannot afford a mortgage. Even if you get on the line, they can't afford to build a house. You see, I know construction workers in the inner city, carpenters, they can't afford to build a house. They've been bought for a house.
So what's supposed to happen there? You mean affordable rental?
Housing. You know, and the problem with that is they have so many landlords in this country, right? And these landlords, which class are they? I mean, we know who they are. Some of them are rich, some of them are high middle class. You see, and what they should, you know, I see one activist that always talk about the internet and this and so many things, and he talk about, we can create X amount of jobs in the construction industry, right? And then he said, well, he's involved in clients where he's building a dwelling house with apartments on the side. Come on, a poor man can't afford a house.
All right,
himself.
so let me ask you, how do you see that? How do you suggest that we fix that? You want the government to cap the rent on some of these?
They need to build. They need to build public housing. They're non-existing in this country. And although, you know, I'm a builder, right? And way back from 30 years ago, my clients, I would assist my clients. I'd build a course that they wouldn't have to go to the bank, and I'd tell them to build duplexes. But now I learned that is the wrong thing. I mean, in a way, because that it prevents the poor man.
Yeah, but you know what happens here, right?
They got to depend on the poor man, the immigrant, and all to survive. So I would say to them, they need to turn these units, right, into Airbnbs. You see? What? And the government needs to spend this money on the poor. They need to build public housing all over the world, the United States, Europe. They have public housing. That's rental, rental.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask. So, again, how will it work? Are you saying that, are they to live there rent-free? Are they?
No, they pay a nominal fee. And if they can't afford to pay the rent, they must live rent-free. You know, and then as well as, okay, and what would enhance them being able to pay the rent or to elevate themselves is a livable wage, and there's nothing about a livable wage, and they talk about increasing the minimum wage. That's not a livable wage. You see, why should there be an excuse to build the economy? And when you build the economy, grow the economy, who does it benefit? The people that profit, to make the profits from the growth in the economy, they're not gonna increase the wages of their people, of their workers.
All right.
That's, you know, how long do we need from way back from 50 years ago? The excuse was, we can't do a livable wage, we can't do income tax because of the type of economy. And come on, what's going to make it any difference now? How much more years we need to build the economy to be able to give livable wage to our poor people?
Okay, you're talking about a lot of different issues there. That's a lot. Thank you very much for sharing your views. Public housing. Boy, the way that you describe it. Anyway, let's talk about it on the other side of the break. You know what happens, right? Because not everybody, but a lot of people don't pay. They don't pay, and they're like, "What are you going to do? Government going to kick me out?" And then it becomes a big problem. But anyway, we have to find a solution. We'll get more of your views on that when we get back. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio.
They say your health is great, trying to cut your nose off to please somebody taste. By laughing, they say it my way, my way, my way. I can do it my way, highway. I don't care what you say. It don't matter.
This traffic report is brought to you by Shield Insurance and Prudential Law Solutions.
Final look at traffic this morning and the challenges is still what's happening out there in the southwest regions of the island. Gladstone Road still caught up in a single lane slow ride there getting out to JFK. Even though the traffic line got shorter in the past hour, you still got remnants of this morning's hefty traffic commute being caught up there in a slow ride out. Samalabala Highway among the most disappointing this morning. The delays there getting out onto Tony's Million Dollar Highway even lengthier now this hour with the assistance from Tony's Million Dollar Highway West Lane. The level of traffic leaving Samalabala Highway on the north lane has caused lengthy backers along Tony's Million Dollar West lanes. Only apparently the sharing of the roundabout has not been successful so far because the Malabala traffic still not getting out as fast as I think it should, while Tony's Million Dollar West lanes are reducing. So it still looks like it's going to be a while before that corridor really clears this morning. Now the Carmichael Road exit on the Blue Hill Road, that's got its lengthy line there, but it's moving. The hang up there is minimal, and so is the wide out onto Blue Hill Road itself. Blue Hill Road is being slowed, of course, getting over the hill there, but that's not too long either. And from there, it's smooth sailing into the city. Island-wide, the morning commute is a mild one so far. No serious delays or traffic jams in the city, and the rides from the outskirts coming into the city are hassle-free. This National Traffic Report this hour being brought to you by Dr. Danny Johnson and Associates at Foot and Ankle, offering the simplest and safest treatment for painful flat feet, bunions, hammer toes, sports medicine, and more. Visit Foot and Ankle International for relief. They're located D's near the top of the hill at Fort Charlotte. Call them at 322-5402. That's 322-5402 for more info. With your right sky look at traffic in real time, I'm PA Double N.
Michael was in a horrible car accident. Prudential Loss Adjusters managed his claim and got him the settlement he deserved. Sierra's roof received hurricane damage. Thanks to Prudential, she and her kids are happy with their claim settlement. Tammy fractured her ankle in a slip and fall. Prudential saved her time, money, and peace of mind. Prudential Loss Adjusters are here for you whenever a tragedy strikes. Call 322-4026 now.
Protect the things that really matter to you. Shield Insurance is the insurance company that grows with you to meet your insurance needs through this beautiful adventure we call life. From automobile to home to life and health, boat, liability, construction, and business insurance, Shield has affordable policies, flexible options, friendly service, and the expertise to protect your hard-earned assets. Shield Insurance agents and brokers in Nassau, call 356-7202 or Freeport 352-5945.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can. Growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The Central Bank of the Bahamas will reinstate its Bahamian Depository Receipts Program and the approval of applications to purchase foreign currency through the investment currency market to fund external portfolio and capital investments beginning the 1st of October. Bank stating this in a statement, it's going to be marking the return of these two instruments after they were stopped for almost a year and a half. The central bank stopping the BDR and ICM to protect the country's external reserves as the main supplier of the country's foreign currency tourism stopped at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. The central bank issued a statement May 4th, 2020, suspending access to those two facilities. Now, with tourism open in the country accessing foreign currency through several means, the bank will return access to foreign currency in earnest next month. Bahamian consumers and depositors should brace themselves for an increase in the prime interest rate in the coming years as the COVID-19 economic crisis causes inflation across the region, in particular in the United States, which influences much of this nation's monetary policies. CEO of Fidelity Group, Gowan Bowe, making the statements right here on Morning Blend Business yesterday. Earlier this summer, the U.S. Federal Reserve raised its expectations for inflation this year and indicated that interest rate hikes could come as soon as 2023. Bowe predicted that while it may take some time for the Bahamas to feel the effects of those actions, they will be felt globally. Hundreds of South Andros residents now have water piped into their homes for the first time ever since the Water and Sewage Corporation officially commissioned them. During the commissioning ceremony, in South Andros yesterday. Executive Chairman Adrian Gibson said it's the corporation's goal to take piped potable water to all establishments on the island as far as the Caribbean Development Bank funding and government funding will allow. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX. From Tuesday, your market movers: Bank of the Bahamas moving 800 shares, closing at 135 unchanged. Doctors Hospital moving 1,200 unchanged at 825. Famguard moving 500 unchanged at $10.08. Consolidated Water unchanged at 242. Emira Incorporated down 1 cent, closing at 1155. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,066.94 unchanged. That's your Market Watch. And that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
You can go your own way. Go your own way. You can call it another lonely day. You can go your own way. Go your own way. Tell me why everything turned around. Packing up, shacking up, so you won't do. But baby, I give you my word. Open up, everything's waiting for you. You can go your own way.
We're back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards on this Wednesday morning. We are talking about the elections, the campaigns, the promises, what you're hearing in terms of what could change things with the economy, turn things around for the business community in the country, getting your views on that. Also talking about election stuff as well. Interesting points from the caller before the break about housing and very vague what many of the parties are saying they're going to do about it, especially as it relates to low-cost housing and public housing.
You're talking about rent-assisted housing, eh?
It seems that way. It seems
What they
that
have
way.
in the States, these high-rise tenement buildings where people pay minimal rent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that can be tricky. That can be very tricky here. We're getting some reviews on that. You can call in about it too. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us. Those situations, we have them here. But do they end up like the Princess Margaret Hospital, where people don't feel the need to pay? They don't feel like they have to, right? And it's a very casual situation.
The government hasn't been good at upkeep of its own buildings and those things. You know?
Yep.
They're going to have to be condemned in 15 years, you know?
Or fewer. And, it's scary. And the government, does it act like that because the people are so lax with paying, or do the people not pay because the government doesn't seem to keep them up, keep up with the upkeep? And or all of the above. And it's it's problematic. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight and Chester.
Hi.
Yeah, when it comes to those government facilities the gentleman was talking about, we have some of them inexistent right now in New Providence, right? They're not low-cost homes. They are government facilities of reduced. But anyhow, they pay up to about $80, $60, some of them, in some instances, right? For the most they pay, I think, is about $250 to $300 for the bigger units a month, right? But for the 2-bedroom units a month. But what I notice with all of those facilities, right? all of them are run down, right? If you know the locations of them, right? I think the most upkept couple I saw were maybe inside the ones in Yellow Well, because they have a couple there too, right? But they have the vast majority of them are run down simply because, right, they are too politically operated, right? Because I believe what in order for them to get the persons who might need to be inside those places, I don't think they never really get the persons who need to be in the place most of the time, right? You get persons in those places would have connection to getting those places to live at a reduced of living. I mean, as far as rental, then some of them work, some of them can afford to pay a normal rent, but because of the connection and the affiliation, they find themselves inside these low-paid facilities, right? And then most of them have a don't care attitude to the facility because it's governed by government or operated by government.
Yeah.
And they break up the place. And then, like Chester, you guys said a while, we could see from the descriptions of our government owned buildings, right? Most of them in the same position. I don't think these government with the attitude, they shouldn't be allowed to own their own buildings, right? Because they have no policies when it comes to maintaining facilities. So you check the Ministry of Works over the years, you see the deterioration of all of those departments. What was once a part of maintenance in government buildings. All of them are dilapidated or come right down to nothing right now, except for maybe one area like plumbing or maybe the air conditioned place, right? But every place, all of the places, they are down to nothing. So I really believe we have to take a better look at how we house people who need the facility from those who don't. I mean, from who don't need the facility. From the ones what just there, the juice up, and they don't really need the right. Yeah. And then you have persons sleeping in the road would really need these facilities, but they get them clogged up with these political operatives inside them. You guys have a nice day.
Great points. Thank you very much. All right. This text here, free public housing doesn't work. We have this in the States, but when you pay for something, you treat it better, I think they're trying to say. This was about the IRCA issue, the matter about tomorrow, advanced poll and polling days and what the requirements are. No ads, no political ads, and no conversations for talk shows. Okay, folks, who? This is 3 different people calling me. I am on the air, so let's come on now. Give me. Yeah. Right. Anyway, this radio station is correct. You being in the minority does not mean that you're wrong. We the people stand with you guys. Please let us ride the wave of brave. Now, how'd that get in there? What? Anyway, okay. Sure. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning again, Dwight and Chester. Dwight, I have a question for you as it relates to policy and governance and things that would benefit the Bahamian people moving forward. If you, Dwight, as a middle, perhaps more on the upper middle class end of the spectrum in our country, can you hear me clearly, Dwight?
Yes, we can.
Okay, of the spectrum in our country, and Chester as well. If you all had an opportunity where the government structured a special purpose vehicle, and it structured it in such a way that you as a Bahamian citizen or even as a resident in the country was afforded the opportunity, Dwight?
We can hear you.
Okay. Was afforded the opportunity to invest in developed docks, government buildings, housing projects, airports, highways, et cetera, right? Would you look forward to taking advantage of investing or purchasing bonds in special purpose vehicles in the development of your own country, where you can become a key owner in those projects where very specially created and high interest rates are being offered, where they are being managed by private-public partnerships, where you could be assured of a certain level of return on your funds. Would you be interested in investing in initiatives like that in your country, Dwight and Chester?
Perhaps.
Obviously.
Pardon me, what did you say, Chester?
I said, yeah, well, obviously. That's almost
I believe that most Bahamians would be interested in such a gigantic initiative, because the Bahamas is going to spend money on capital works. The Bahamas is going to spend big money on infrastructural development works, redevelopment, and maintenance. The Bahamas has to go in that direction if it wants to position us for a sustainable level of growth necessary for the economic growth that we require in our country. And so I believe that the PLP, through its Infrastructural Development Fund, will do exactly that, Dwight and Chester. And that will be revolutionary, and it will benefit our country for 50 to 100 years, and it will create a new level of wealth generation for poor Bahamians, because the government can guarantee loans to afford for Bahamians who may not have the cash up front to invest in it and repay it every year through their dividends. Middle-class persons, upper-middle-class persons, wealthy persons, merchant-class persons can all benefit from such a structured special-purpose vehicle. And it will be massive. And it will help to allow it to that kind of forward thinking and development from the progressive Liberal Party's policies of empowerment to benefit Bahamians. Thank you for the opportunity, Dwight.
Okay. It sounds very intense. But that was in there. Yeah, that's what they're saying they're going to do. Okay.
I didn't realize that was the structure they were talking about. But I was having this conversation yesterday with some people, and again, this is your baby. I feel like that needs to accompany local government, because then it'll end up becoming Nassau centric or Grand Bahama centric.
You're right. And that means Nassau will decide where it goes and where it happens, and for whom, and for perhaps those who voted for us, and that type of thing. Whereas if the people on those islands are empowered to do what they feel is best for them, which might compete with Nassau or some other places. But hey, it happens in countries all over the world, and all those places are stronger for it. But yeah. Okay. Did we lose that caller? Okay, this person here with all those names of the parties that we read, someone says, can you please explain the difference between a party and a movement? No, I can't. Nor the alliance and the coalitions. I don't really know.
Well, parties have a lot of music and cars on the road.
And what do the movements have? Lots of dancing and eating and drinking? Yes. Okay.
Meetings in people's houses.
Right. Okay. I hear you. This one says here, the government has public housing. There are pink apartments all through the inner city, but who pays for maintenance and upkeep when people don't pay their rent? Yes, this is what we're saying now. Dwight and Chester, are you aware that some staff of the Parliamentary Registration Department are indicating that visually impaired or blind people will not be able to have assistance in the actual booth to cast their ballot? I'm not aware of that, but that's an interesting point. And is it because of COVID? Because of concerns for COVID? Yeah, right. Okay. We got to talk about that. Definitely got to talk about that. That is going to be quite an issue. Quite an issue. All right. Well, this one says that what I'd like to see in business for 2022, increases in the ease of doing business, actual downtown redevelopment, not just another committee, change to business license rules, I guess the same, calculations based on, for the business license, calculating based on profit rather than revenue, actual fines and punishment for businesses responsible for illegal dumping, oil spills, reef destruction, protected free tree removal, and a review of tax concessions for businesses and industries to see if we're getting value for money lost. All good. Another one says here, Mortgage Corporation could be great, but it's owed $100 million. It should be a money-making entity, but they don't collect or enforce or kick people out for not paying. All these lawyers, and they can't evict them and sell the house? Okay. Another one, You can't have a movement without a party, but you can have a movement without a party, but you cannot have a party without a movement. Oh, is that it? Okay. They're saying, no, it's not based on COVID. This is with the assistance. The assistance is a family member in the same household. Well, then, so that perhaps it is because of COVID. We're going to get the information about that. And you're saying it's going to be a problem for the advanced poll tomorrow. That's not good. That's not good. And again, there's been so little information about everything to do with this, with all the protocols, anything that's going on. We don't know. We're all flying without the information here. And just have a lot of concerns about what we're going to find on the 17th. What we're going to find. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your messages. We didn't get to all of them, unfortunately, but we do appreciate you participating. Chester, thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
Pleasure, man.
And I'll be back to Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green. Tomorrow, what will we talk about? I don't know. We'll find something. So definitely tune in. And we may even talk to Urka as well. We'll see. But that's coming up tomorrow. Stay tuned for On the Clock.